Stugotz, I don't know about you, whether you have like a bit of an antenna for when something in the future might go wrong, but Billy as a bellwether for whether or not we're doing the wrong thing. When Skeptical Billy makes an appearance, I get a little worried about things we're doing, and we're doing a toy drive for the next 3 days. That seems like a nice thing. Just give some kids some toys. It's an easy way to make them happy. Our audience is very giving and has money. Our audience has money and usually shows it in instances like this. But Billy doesn't think we're doing this right because...
Hold on a second. Falsehoods. What are we doing?
What
Leading
happened?
the witness here. Exactly. What happened is exactly right, Stugotz. What happened here?
I just thought that perhaps you thought that Tony featured as a toy drive person. You thought that we're not putting him in a position to succeed because he's Tony and because of some of the details involved with what we're doing today.
Well, I mean, can I share the details? It's on, like, the DL, isn't it? Well, I mean, we might as well. I mean, we need people to go donate toys. So can I share the details that I am aware of?
Yes, because we are asking people to help us here with unwrapped toys, and it's we got a late start on this, so
Christmas snuck up on us.
We're jostling the calendars.
It's like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the same every year. It's the same place every year, but it sneaks up on us. I saw poor Fuentes in the eating area, and he was just lamenting that he's like, Dan, Christmas sprint. I haven't bought all the gifts. Nobody's fault but my own. Just muttering under his breath about the Christmas sprint.
Are you sure that was Fuentes? Because he's not one to take accountability for not remembering things.
Right. Well, it's that time of year, Dan. I mean...
He
That's
looked,
what people say.
He looked sour, and I went up to him, and I don't often do this. I'm like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, you just caught me thinking about the Christmas sprint and all of the stresses involved." But we're trying to alleviate some of the holiday stresses. This is a real easy transaction. You bring us a toy, and we take it and make a kid happy with it. Like, it's a super easy way to do this. And we're at Flanagan's this morning. Tony is, Cuban Santa. It's at 2721 Bird Avenue, Coconut Grove, right in the Grove, the heart of everything we do.
This is a two birds kind of situation. You go get a toy, hop over there around 11, drop off the toy, get some lunch, boom.
Well, the thing is, though, is that we're there at 10, and I don't think the restaurant's even open at 10. And there's also 2 Flanagans there, right? There's the restaurant, and then there's, like, Big Daddy's. Like, are we outside of Big Daddy's or are we outside of Flanagan's? Because, like, the locations...
Big Daddy's is
here,
Big Daddy's.
Come to a bar and give us a toy at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. It's kind of like, do people have toys in their cars that are going to be at a bar at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, or are we sending people in hope that they're not working? And in which case, are we asking unemployed people to give us toys at a bar on a Tuesday? Like, these are just... Maybe the locations, it's like... we're going to send people to a trap house next? What are we doing?
If you're a parent like me and you've gotten your kids way too much crap, take one of theirs. Give it away.
Flanagan's is not a trap house.
No, I know. I didn't say it was.
It is one of the most delightful places in all of South Florida. The next 2 days, we'll be doing this toy drive at Vivo at Dolphin Mall. They've been very supportive lately. And so we will have a different part of Miami where we can go get toys. And you can also just drop them off here at the Elser, because we've got a place here, Corner Coffee, that's open from 7 a.m. to 2 every day if you can't do it right now.
Do they know we're doing it?
Yes, they would.
Good.
They would need to know we're doing this. It's a good
important.
question. It's a good question
Thank you.
You're asking.
Yes, that Flanagan's, by the way, is legendary.
Yes,
there's a good chance that Tony walks into that place and there are people still there from last night.
Yes,
I'm telling you
that Flanagan's taught me. It brought me gently into adulthood. That Flanagan's. It walked me right into adulthood, just allowing me to drink.
You see things in there,
when
man.
I was in college and after college, and they allowed me to enter adulthood in a way that was jostled me less than it might have otherwise if I didn't have chicken wings in front of me.
The problem, though, is like Tony likes Flanagan, so there's also the chance that like Tony forgets the mission that he's on and he's just hanging out at Flanagan's.
Well, you mentioned it might not be open, which is
I'm going to look up the hours.
It's a hole in our plan because go.
10. I mean, I don't know if Flanagan's is famous for their breakfast. That's the only question.
I think it's pretty good. I hope they're open by noon so we can tell people, stop in, bring a toy, have lunch. I don't know whether they are or not.
They open at 11 at the latest.
It says closed
lunch menu
right now.
Yeah.
Opens at 11.
Thank you.
So he'll be there for an hour pre-open. If you guys want to pregame there in the parking lot, maybe stand in line for tailgate for the opening.
Toy gate. There's a toy gate. There's a toy gate. We're doing a toy gate right now at Flanagan's. Who wants to come to party with Cuban Santa? And
I'm gonna look to see what time Big Daddy's opens though.
Never closes. I mean,
you can also meet that Songbird Rose. Lucy finds no one in the world more delightful than that songbird Rose.
Depends on the day.
You are so amused by her inability to say the name of that Italian alleged murderer of CEOs, Luigi Mangione. I've rarely seen you as happy as I saw you yesterday when you were staring at Rose's complete inability to say that name.
Look, the way she was saying it wasn't like she just was like not able to pronounce it. She kept giving him the first name Jimmy, and I was like, Rose, his name is Luigi. Jimmy. And then we'd say his name is Luigi Mangione. How do you say it? And she'd say Jimmy.
All right, let's start with that because she's producing Tony. We'll start there.
It's the holidays, a time for peace, for love, for presents. And do I have one for you? It's Poppy's 50 Shades of Christmas. You're welcome.
Christian trails a spoonful of ice cream down the center of my body. He kisses each of my breasts and each of my nipples hard. My mouth is already open from panting. I open wider and he slides a large cool metal object between my... Sitting beside me, he gently pulls my sweatpants down, up and down like a horse drawers. He flexes his hips, so he pushes against me. Yes, right there. In the bathroom, it is all hot and steamy. I strip off my clothes and quickly clamber into the shower, and I hold up my face into the welcoming torrent. I want Christian Grey.
Thank you, Poppy. See, Greg, that's how it's done.
Michelangelo's David has nothing on him.
Es suficiente, Poppy. Okay, time to start the show.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
All right, listen, Metalark Media. I didn't want to have to do this in public in front of everybody, but only I get to exploit my father.
Huh.
Everyone else, you need to knock it off and you need to check with me before you do that. Like, you can't make... I get to do it. I get to do it. No one else. Did it for 10 years on ESPN. That gives none of you that permission. I'm looking at you, Mike Bryant. You didn't tell me you were doing that. You didn't tell me you were voicing that. I exploit my father, no one else. ESPN rented that accent for 10 years. It's retired now. It is done with its exploitation.
To be fair, this was pre-existing exploitation.
I'm talking about the cartoon graphics and you adding sensual voice to it, and you
that was AI.
When I exploited him then.
Iverson.
I exploited him then. I'm allowed. ESPN needed some help with the Hispanic demographic. Still does. Good God. Good God. Feel free to have some Hispanic people on air. Needed help.
Huh.
And what happened after that? Dad held out. He was bluffing. He didn't know how to tell his son he wanted to retire. ESPN gave him a raise, called his bluff. Then he was confused. And then he went flat crazy. And that's how he quit the show. And that's what that exploitation did. So I've learned my lesson, and I would like for you not to do that anymore.
Speaking of that graphic we put up there for the toy drive, there was a Christmas tree with the Star of David at the top of it. I mean, that's how we're doing it.
Inclusive. Inclusive. What's the problem with that?
You're welcome.
What's the matter with that?
I mean, you got a whole tree. I got a little star at the
Hanukkah
top.
also starts December 25th, does it not? Hanukkah starts December 25th?
Look at you. I mean, 8 crazy nights.
I'm looking at everyone here asking. No one seems to know except for...
It does.
Okay.
Late this year.
That's correct.
So yes, a star of David. Now, Tony is at this toy drive at Cuban Santa, and Billy informed me through giggles during the break that Big Daddy's opens at 7 a.m., baby. So if you want to get your party on right now.
Yep.
7 a.m. to 3 a.m.
If you want to get your
Never
party
closes.
On,
I mean,
well, 3 to
it does.
7.
It does.
3 to 7.
Trust me, I live there. It doesn't close at 3.
From 3 to 7.
Trust me.
Look.
live there.
Look,
Listen, it's a sign. It says it on the door. They're not closed, okay?
We all saw that you had your never closes lined up before Billy said his 7 to 3, and you were going to get that shot off no matter what. You stopped listening right there.
I did.
Tony is at Flanigan's. A legend. He is. This is the legendary Flanigan's, is it not? This is the one that brought me to adulthood in college, and we're collecting toys there. And we're going to be doing it today until noon. We're doing a toy drive, a Tony drive. And Rose is also there. And Rose cannot pronounce the name of the alleged CEO murderer, Luigi Mangione. Let's go out to Tony at Flanagan's, and let's tell people, motivate them over the next 3 hours to get out there and bring a toy or several toys. These are the kinds we're asking for, Stugotz, because we're going to want, what an easy way to use this platform to just make kids happy right here in our city, the city we're celebrating 20 years in, and we haven't done quite enough of this over the 20 years where we're just giving back because it's a good time to do it. So balls and equipment. Dolls, Barbies, remote control cars, Nerf toys, board games. You can bring more than one. Jewelry, craft kits, perfume, cologne. Lucy was confused by that one. Perfume and cologne. Because I could see Stugotz like smuggling some toys and taking them home and doing some Christmas, some early Star of David shopping.
Thinking about it with the Nerf balls. I mean,
I thought the perfume cologne was odd, but then I used some context clues. I feel like a lot of these toy drives, everyone always gets the little kids stuff, but there are, high school, middle school students who probably want like Drunk Elephant Sephora stuff. So maybe bring some of that too.
But the perfume cologne is under the elementary school
Yeah, that's
list.
odd.
Yeah.
I don't
Weird.
think they meant to put it there.
I have a question for all of the fans out there as we're learning, about the toy drive. So is it ending when the show ends, or can they go to Flanagan's later in the day and we'll collect it later if we're not there?
10 to 12 at Flanagan's.
Oh.
You can do, 7 to 2 p.m. right out in our corner at the corner coffee store. At the Elser.
That's right, at the Elser. You seem a little rattled, Chris. Are you okay? Is everything okay? Or you got everything under
there's
control?
a lot going on.
There's a lot of defense being played about what we're
No, it's
what
not
we're doing
defense.
today,
It's
so I'm
information.
just-
And guys, people are at work at this time. If they want to help after they get out of work, I'm trying to find out if there's a way for them to do so.
I told you that I was met with Skeptical Billy, and Skeptical Billy has a way of undermining some of these things before they get started.
you're
You
at
may
work-
have noticed his work over the last 20 years.
If you're at
Also,
work
it's-
right now and you can't do it today,
Quit.
we're going to be at Vivo Mall the next 2 days.
Attaboy.
So if you can't get in that window, the whole week you can come to the Elser at the corner coffee store between 7 and 2 p.m.
Look, I believe this is, let's have a group meeting here. We don't do very much of this.
All right.
I believe we take for granted slightly, just because it's such an overwhelming thing, that our audience always shows up when we ask them to. It's not, and I'm not saying that we actually take it to, that we all spend our time taking it for granted. We cannot appreciate enough the way our audience, every time summoned, helps with something like this. Every single time. It is without fail. And so it's not something that I can articulate well enough after 20 years in, Stugotz.
Right.
What a power it is to have with the platform. Hey, let's do something good here over the next 3 days. Where it's hastily put together, that's my fault. Flanagan's today and Vivo Dolphin Mall the next couple of days. We're trying to get a lot of toys. You can bring more than one toy.
How about cash?
You can bring gift cards. See, I'm worried about Stugotz and the gift cards. Like, if they bring the gift cards back here, all of a sudden Stugotz is going to do his holiday shopping in our bin meant for others.
What about heaters? I mean,
He doesn't have kids of this age, but I can see Stugotz on eBay all of a sudden selling Legos.
Legos are expensive.
they are.
Crazy expensive.
That's the ones he would go steal. Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Are Legos crazy expensive? I'm going to go out to Tony out there in a second, but I wanted to circle back on something we were talking about yesterday, because it's been kind of fun to see, for college football to get to its exciting time in the new age and hand a trophy to one of the losers. Here, Travis Hunter, you didn't get into the top 12. The standard for Dion and everybody is get into the top 12. You came close. You were relevant. You're a wild success. But now here's the biggest trophy in the sport before we kick off, the Army, Navy over here, and just let's celebrate football during the holidays and eat too much and give and have bowl games on the televisions, because everybody's about to get a little bit time off around the holidays. Travis Hunter and Colorado just achieved a seismic Heisman thing, because
Seismic Heisman thing, yeah.
to go from historically black college to the most famous coach in the sport and Travis Hunter holding up the big trophy. That's like just a monster achievement. Like monster achievement. And Travis Hunter is now getting a lot of dating advice from the entirety of the internet because people are warning him. Everybody's very comfortable, and he's pushing them off. Very comfortable. You got to get a prenup there. You can't just give yourself over to love. Do you know what is coming into your life right now as the number one pick, star of college football? The hood ornament on whatever Deion was doing. Hood ornament so huge, bigger than Deion's son, who might also be the number one quarterback taken. Like, just a giant achievement. What Deion and Travis Hunter have done. What do you make of the fact that the internet is now telling him he's got love all wrong after a video showed that his fiance what seemed to be a little bit bothered by the fact that he just had to sign a bunch of things and take a bunch of pictures and be famous. And now a whole lot of 50-year-olds, a whole lot of Sterling Sharps and everyone else, or Shannon Sharp, are coming in here and telling this young man where he needs to grow up around love. And I don't know where he is with this, but I have found interesting how
he's in love.
How invasive everyone is comfortable being on a kid's relationship. And them putting out everybody, his business and her business on what the intimate details of their relationship is, because now she gets a fame too, but it's unpleasant. It's a really unpleasant fame. Like, the fame that comes her way ends up being something like she's being judged from every corner of how it is she's supposed to be or serve Travis Hunter as whatever it is they view a relationship as. And I'm just asking the group what you make of how comfortable the internet is telling Travis Hunter how to live his life around love, giving him the advice of you got to get a prenuptial agreement, you got to protect your money, et cetera, et cetera.
The internet feels like they're experts on everything, and so I'm not surprised that they're doing this on the heels of Travis Hunter winning the Heisman and seeing his wife uncomfortable in certain situations. That comes with fiance. I'm sorry. That comes with the territory. They're in love. For me, and I can't believe I'm saying this, we're taking hot takes way too far. I mean, the kid won the Heisman Trophy, and we're going to start, just based on body language and reports, we're going to start talking about and giving him advice on his relationship with his fiance. He seems to know what he's doing, and he seems to have a great support system around him that's protecting him. He'll be fine.
Well, I would say there's been on camera a number of incidents already. It wasn't just once this weekend. So that's, I think, where people may be coming from. Also, like, Shannon Sharp has gone through the NFL. Like, he has experience in this area, you would think. So I'm not saying that they're necessarily judging him, but they may be telling him, hey, this is what I went through, just so you know.
We don't know these people. I think this is all like really weird. They're very young. I saw some of this on social media and I was like, that's enough social media today. I put my phone down. Yeah. I think it's weird to harass college athletes. I think it's weird to harass professional athletes about like their dating lives. We don't know them. It's gotten a little weird, and I would like to just ignore that it's happening.
Also, aside just from the Travis Hunter of it, like, most people are not with who they were with when they were 20 years old. So, like, statistically,
if you guys want to do a relationship show around this, I suppose that we can.
We don't. You're the person that
no one
the
asked
topic.
for this.
No one wants.
Not a single person. Also, Travis Hunter was like the number one high school prospect going into college. Like, he could have gone to college anywhere.
It started off good. I thought you were talking about, hey, you know, a kid winning the Heisman who's not on a playoff team, and then you brought it to a weird place. I mean,
well, you called him a loser from the jump.
Yeah.
All the gambits have just been off. Look, I don't like this either. I have my regrets over Brittany Mahomes conversations that I had when she was spraying champagne over Chiefs fans. Yeah. But they were professionals. I guess that's my rationalization. But it's from learning from that experience. I see this one, and like Billy mentioned, this has been a talking point for several months on the internet. Their relationship. They're very young, and I don't feel at all comfortable with it.
And Brittany Mahomes is a public figure now. Like, this is, I think, a slightly different situation.
I also, on the record, want to say I love love.
Right. This is what Chad Johnson was saying. That's exactly what Chad Johnson was saying, and that's the way to go in this circumstance, certainly. I think we can all agree. Do you love love? And then at some point in the middle of that, Kansas City fans were booing that too. And the Mahomes family dynamics are all very complicated. But if we're going to sniff around in the lives of these public figures and make them professionals early. And they're going to make their relationships public, which is then going to make the mess come to them. The thing I'm asking you about, where it is this can devour young people in immature relationships. And I'm going to say immature relationships because I'm going to just simply assume that any relationship any of us had from 17 to 21 was probably a slightly immature relationship.
I think we're talking about this relationship too much and not Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld relationship enough. Ever since they got engaged, life has been amazing for him. He's so tall. He's so good at football. He's
So
engaged
handsome.
to some like one of the most beautiful women and talented women in the world. We should talk about them.
Fair enough. And you, as my chicken fry expert, because I know there's all sorts of gossip there, you explain to me what the difference is between the two things I'm doing here. You're doing, hey, I've got a TikTok addiction. I've got my chicken fry addiction. This is where I like to spend my gossip time enjoying somebody's personal life. And I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of internet doing it in Travis Hunter's relationship. Why is this one not as interesting to you?
I would say that Brianna Chicken Fry that's her whole brand has been take a look into my life. And I'm, bringing my friend to this public media company where the entirety of the content they do is here's what's going on in my life. And Brianna Chicken Fry has made a point to come out and make all these statements. There aren't things that are being taken from, private things in her life. She's going in front of a microphone and talking about all of this. So I think that sort of opens up the realm to be involved in this. But we're just not talking about how great of a couple Josh and Haley are.
Okay.
Oh, it makes me so happy for the both of them.
All right. I appreciate you doing that. And you are not wrong when you want to bring a lighter touch to all of this. So does Jeremy. Jeremy is insistent now. We've opened this particular portal. Now he's just farting and burping song all over the place because it's the job he's wanted all his life. Let me sing songs during the holidays to people. So he just whipped up a chicken fry song that I'm not very eager to hear.
You know Brianna Chicken Fry, sleeping over on a Friday night after Grace had made her cry and her friendship's gone. Well, they was raised up beneath the shade of the Boston Garden and were besties, so Brianna's on TikTok creating a following and then a barstool show. She's dating Zach Bryan, now Grace is out. But there's no love lost between Grace and Brianna now. 'Cause Brianna Chicken Fry, sleeping over on a Friday night after Grace had made her cry, and the friendship's gone. The Bring It Back plan breathe. But the plan
All right. I don't like what Jeremy and Lucy are doing to the show.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it. You said you liked it before. Chris came in here and he brought me the chicken fry song. And I'm like, am I going to like that? And he's like, I don't know. Lucy likes it, though. She can't stop laughing. And I'm like, do we want to trust that judgment? And he's like, yeah. And then we play it first.
Sorry for bringing positivity to the show.
But
Sorry
how
for
dare you?
supporting and loving my coworkers. I guess I won't do that anymore.
Doesn't get you very far around here. Just to put a bow on this Travis Hunter thing, Dan, if other people want to do all that stuff, they can do it. I feel like, personally, I don't need to do any of it. I'm not for me. Maybe for other people, not for me.
Okay. And so the reason that I ask all of the questions is because I have been almost fundamentally ill-prepared for whatever the internet age and social media age has wrought. So I don't actually know the world that Travis Hunter is headed into next, because he's probably been living in a version of this world that I don't understand for 3 or 4 years as, hey, Renegade team is going to go play for a little bit at Jackson State, and then they're going to go and make themselves first-round picks and go to Colorado, and then they're going to get to the fringe of college football. And they've been living famous and big next to Deion Sanders for a while. So maybe they're prepared for all of what comes next because they've got the perfect mentor in Deion Sanders to warn them at every turn. But all of it does seem dangerous from where I'm standing, like not understanding what fame is doing to 17 and 19-year-old kids as we fast forward how professional football is.
The internet is not great. It's tough to navigate, but I would say while you're having difficulty navigating it, Travis Hunter is like always streaming. Yeah. He is extremely online.
He lives there. Yeah.
He's pretty public with his relationship online. I'd say he's probably positioned much better than you, someone in your 50s, to navigate it.
I guess I don't understand like what's so dangerous about it and why it's different for Travis Hunter than anyone else in a relationship going through the same thing throughout history.
I mean, everybody has probably been in a relationship where they're dating someone and the friends feel some kind of way about it. This is kind of a version of that, only the friends are complete strangers. And there's thousands and thousands of them.
But friends to him, perhaps. Maybe. I mean, he spends all his time there.
We run into it all the time when we have events. People feel like they know us because we live between their ears. And I'm sure Travis Hunter, who's always streaming online, his fans that tune in to watch what he puts out there feel like they know him.
If I could tell you how many people that are strangers to me have come up to me, fans of the show, and said, you should get divorced. Huh.
My point is, and I will leave it, and we will go and enjoy the holidays with Cuban Santa in a moment. Just my just general point, perhaps this is the most obvious thing in the world that I'm saying nothing astute here. But holy shit, Travis Hunter, what a giant victory for you to go from historically black college to best player in college football as the hood ornament on that thing. God bless, what an achievement.
You're a writer, and it shows sometimes. I understand how you're coding everything by he went from an HBCU. This was the #1 recruit in the country.
Yes. Wasn't he committed to FSU?
He had
and
FSU, and on signing day,
he decided to go there.
Barstool and Deion Sanders made a huge show of making the #1 guy go to Jackson State. So he's been a star, and has been dealing with the limelight for several years now.
Yeah, he was committed to Florida State, and I'll never forget it because when he decommitted, all these Florida State fans started burning their Deion jerseys. And there's one classic image of someone burning a framed Deion jersey. They're like, why would you not take it out of the picture frame?
How many, Billy?
Too many to shake a stick at.
Before we go to Cuban Tony at Flanigan's, at a bar on a Tuesday where we do a toy drive, I love that we're doing it this way. I just want to celebrate. Hey, Travis Hunter, you get to enjoy all of that for a second, no matter what the expectations were, because you guys did an enormous thing. I'm sorry the internet has climbed into your business as you're a star for the new age, the new Deion. You're the new Deion taught by Deion to head into football, and it's going to be so much fun to watch that he met the expectations, because you tell me he was the #1 pick. Go ahead and name all of the last 20 of those. Those don't always end up here. Like those don't. I'd bet against any #1 pick I'm seeing doing what Travis Hunter just did to college football. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you bet against that? Because I would bet. I'd think that the machine would eat up all the #1 picks, and then occasionally it belches out a star in the top 10.
Well, to your point, Dan, yes, I think like what I've seen on the internet is sort of a lot of people assuming things about people they don't know and like making really kind of weird comments about people they don't know when it does feel like it should be a week to celebrate him and what a great football player he is. Obviously, he is also someone with internet celebrity and has sort of welcomed some of this fame into his life. Like, I understand that aspect of it, but like, I, as a football fan and someone that's not super invested in his personal life, I'm not that interested in that conversation. I'm more interested in the football part of it, which is that he was the best. Yeah, right. What position is he going to play? Who's going to draft him? What's he going to do in the NFL? Like, who's going to win the Heisman next year? That conversation's already started. There's a lot of other stuff to me that's more interesting about it.
Okay, and so the place where it's most interesting to me, because I've seen Stugotz saw the Ball brothers sort of conquer an internet space, and his high school girls were super interested in that.
Now, you said #1 pick. You mean #1 recruit in the nation to go on and do this. So the last one to do that was Bryce Young, 2020.
Okay, and I'm sure you can name some. I would bet against all of that. But what I'm saying to you about having seen Deion's climb from, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, showed up his last college games with a top hat in a tuxedo, 0.0 GPA, because he was telling all of us, I'm using college only to get to my fame. He has birthed this in the internet age, something that has lived on the internet for a while and for 4 years has been famous and has brought a whole bunch of kids who think they know him, that when they stand on that stage, holy shit, the Heisman ceremony means something to kids it didn't mean something to. Like that stuffy trophy room that he just barged into, he did it with an internet fame behind him that feels like it knows Travis Hunter and has known him for 3 years.
I hate that this story is around because I thought his speech was beautiful.
It was great.
I think it's a wonderful moment. I think it's really cool for Coach Prime. And as someone that found a mentor of his own, it speaks to the importance of mentorship and finding the right one to pave your way for success. And I really hate that this is hanging around the story because it's really cool.
I'm with Mike. What I saw during that speech was a kid, and I didn't know him, and I still don't know him, but that speech kind of gave you a peek inside to what he is all about.
It was authentic, too, off the cuff.
It was great. And you saw a grounded kid who said all the right things, acknowledged all the right people, Dan. Like, I think he's going to be fine moving forward. I think he has a good support system around him, and he's a good, grounded kid.
I think it's impossible to know that because what he's headed into, I don't know that anyone has the tools for. Like maybe he gets through it.
He's navigated being the #1 recruit in the nation and being a star that's delivered on Heisman hype. Like he's been able to handle it while being under a microscope so far. So I have no reason to doubt that he can handle being the #1 pick because what does that come with? Expectation? You seem to be doing all right with that.
If we like the kid, and I think me and Mike like the kid, it's impossible not to like the kid. But if you like the kid, let's all pray together that he doesn't go to the Jets.
Under the Star of David.
Or the Bears.
Under the Star of
Dolphins.
David on a Christmas tree. Let's go out to Tony here because Tony is getting gifts now, and he's Cuban Santa Tony, and he's at Flanigan's. And I ask everybody in South Florida to tell people, to run and tell people that Tony is here, and he's accepting toys for the next couple of hours at Flanigan's at the most legendary of all the Flanigans, 2721 Bird Road, Coconut Grove. Let's check in here with Tony now as we begin our toy drive. Tony, what are you doing out there? What information can you give me about what's happening at a bar on a Tuesday morning in Miami?
Yeah, Dan, slow morning right now for the toy drive, but we're here accepting all sorts of toys. Hold on, excuse me.
It's okay.
My beard is getting a little bit into my mouth when I talk.
It's that time of year. Yeah.
The hairs are on La 27 and Bird Road at the Flanigans, the best one of all time, by the way. We got this box, but we're going to need a bigger box once more people come and bring us stuff. You're going to bring something?
All right.
No?
Okay.
Well, thank you. All right. So, Dan, you can bring a bunch of unwrapped toys, whatever you want. We've got different ages. We got younger kids that can go for like a Nerf ball or like an athletic ball or dolls or something like that, to older kids in middle school and high school that could be gift cards, cash, like Stugotz said. I'll be able to take care of that.
Not cash. Take toys. Take toys.
That's not. Hold on. I thought.
You can't
My bad.
accept
Oh,
cash.
that was different.
You cannot accept cash.
No,
Tony.
Stugotz texted me that one.
Tony,
Yeah.
you
No,
can't
Stu
do that as
texted
Santa.
me that one. My bad.
You can.
Tony, you can't
No,
do
I
that
know.
as
I know.
Santa.
I know.
That is the best-looking Santa I've
see
ever
the
seen.
hair.
Tony, you can't be Cuban Santa and then saying, bring me cash, and leaving with it in your pocket.
Sure you can.
No, Tony,
No.
you can't. Tony,
No.
Tony, you can't be on television asking people to bring you cash through a fake Santa beard. That's
Fake?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
If you're out of town, go to branchesfl.org and you can donate some stuff there too. But we'll be here hanging out till noon. Bring over any toys, any gift cards, no cash, but bring over that stuff. We'll be here hanging out.
Thank you, Tony. We will check back in again. We will check back in again and get your top 5 in a second. You know what, Tony? Get yourself together. We'll come back to you. We'll make it technical difficulty because Santa's having a tough time with his beard Tuesday at a bar.
Can you see the long hair here? It keeps getting into my mouth.
Yes, I can tell that you're not faking it. I can tell that this is it's not a bit.
Before we officially conclude our Heisman conversation, Jeremy had something he wanted to add to the fray.
Jesus.
Oh,
More
no.
songs.
No.
I'll Christmas. Voting for the Heisman Trophy.
Oh, this is about me. He sings about me here.
Give Cam Ward every award, even if he should definitely have just finished number 3.
I hate that song, obviously.
I hate all of them, being honest.
Is that a Christmas song?
I love that he's a resident song and dance man now.
I know, but we asked him to do Frosty. I still haven't heard Frosty. I mean,
I'm a little upset that everyone's having a go at Dan for voting Cam Ward number 1, especially when like the rationalization for Genty being the Heisman Trophy winners. Man, they game planned for him and they weren't able to stop him. Cool. No one was really able to stop Cam Ward either all season long, except for maybe the staff.
So, Mike, let me stop you here for a second because I erred this year. I really did. And I was actually, I considered it for a moment, and I should have done it, but I was too flippant about how I was voting. I should have called all of you and asked you how you would have voted on
Like
this.
Greg Cody does with me and my brother.
Yes, just like that. I should have called all of you and asked you how you would have voted because all I know is that I watched Cam Ward all year. And if you're better than any University of Miami thing that I've ever seen, and you're the only reason that your team is in a national conversation, you become just like Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter at the very least, but much better at offense. Like not a little bit better at offense, much better at offense. And so I just voted for what I watched in every game this season, which is more proficiency at that position than I'd ever seen in a University of Miami uniform at that position. But neither Lucy nor Jessica would have voted the way that I would have voted, and I would have asked all of you to vote, and how would you have voted? How would because
I would have voted for Travis Hunter number 1.
Same.
I think applying the logic on Genty, like I said, I deduce that Cam Ward is just as unstoppable. And I think his team, the same argument. Where's Boise without Genty? Where's Miami without Cam Ward? So I would have gone Cam Ward number 2 and Genty number 3. It really bothered me that Dylan Gabriel finished ahead of Cam Ward. His best game is an average Cam Ward game. There's no, look, flatly, no disrespect to Dylan Gabriel. He's not as good as Cam Ward. The NFL draft prospects will bear that out. My eyes bore that out. So I think Cam Ward at 4 was a little disappointing, but Travis Hunter should have been number 1. And I understand why it was a close race. Genty's very impressive, too. It was a great Heisman year, but Travis Hunter deserved to win it.
The only thing I would say about voting him number 1 is that of the 901 first place votes, he got 6, which is not 6%, it's 0.6%. So,
well, that's why Jeremy sings that Homer song about me. That's why, let me hear it again.
You, Kevin Clark, Poppy. Who are the other 3?
Manny Navarro, for sure.
So Jessica, I want, okay, look, the rest of you, this happened before. Lucy wanted to hear the chicken fry song. It was funnier to her than to anybody. But nobody was laughing harder at braying Jeremy serenading in my face with hot breath. Dan's a homer, right in my face. Dan's a homer. No one enjoyed that more than Jessica, roaring with laughter in the back row. She had her hands in front of her face, and I could still see her teeth around her hands because she was laughing so much at this terrible song.
I'll be a homer for Christmas.
Enough.
Voting for the Heisman Trophy. Give Cam Ward every award, even if he should definitely have just finished number 3.
How many Boise State games did you watch this year?
Yeah, that part's fair.
I mean, you have a Heisman vote.
That part's fair.
The photo of the 4 finalists was hilarious, and Dylan Gabriel is short, but the P4 size compared to a group of 5 size guy was really funny.
I will cop to this particular bias. Yes, of all the players who were anywhere around the Heisman, I only watched one of all of their games, but it was amazing. I'm like riding a bucking bronco against Duke and Wake Forest.
Now imagine if you saw the other ones
That's
play.
right.
I mean,
I can't even imagine how that blue field looked.
I feel like the argument for Gabriel is that he is QB rating wise right there with Cam Ward, threw as many touchdowns, but is just not going to give you the same type of style of play as Cam Ward. But I guess I could see why you would vote for him instead of Cam Ward when he played multiple top 25 defenses. Miami really didn't have those kinds of games this year.
It's a record thing. I think with Dylan Gabriel, you can point to stats. I understand. I mean, most of the stats, if you want to cherry pick just one stat for Dylan Gabriel, fine. Most of the stats would say Cam Ward's far superior. So it's just Cam Ward is flatly better than Dylan Gabriel, and he won the Davey O'Brien. I was pissed off that Gabriel got Maxwell finalists and not Cam Ward, but it's all right. We're splitting hairs here. Dylan Gabriel's going to be an all-timer when it's all said and done, when his career is all done and
whenever
dusted
that
after
is.
the CFP. Yeah, he's probably going to get 2 more years of eligibility.
I agree that Cam Ward is a great quarterback. That's why I said Miami's going to win all their games. They didn't. They disappointed me, but I thought he single-handedly could do it, and single-handedly he almost did.
Yeah, I mean he wasn't the reason
Literally.
he wasn't the reason that they lost
But
2 games.
his Heisman odds did go down after the Georgia Tech game. That was sort of the turning point on the season.
Yeah, if he was
him.
undefeated, do you think he would have won it?
If he played better in that game, I think it would have given
Played
him a
pretty
lot
well.
of momentum into the ACC championship
Yeah.
weekend, which I
You
think a lot
guys-
of people, their last thing that they saw was Genty putting up these ridiculous stats in championship weekend. Travis Hunter, his last couple games of the season, he had outstanding games. So, yeah, I think it helps having momentum in the last half of the season. And Miami definitely didn't have that. Cam Ward, I think, was maybe a little bit of a victim of that.
You guys aren't doing something that I did here, and I ask you because I'm genuinely curious, and it's one of the reasons that I should have asked you. I wasn't penalizing Cam Ward. Now, you guys are saying, what would it have been if Cam Ward had been undefeated? I'm asking you this question. If the Syracuse game goes the way that it needed to for him to have the Heisman moments that I'm always telling you these guys have to have, at the end of the Syracuse game, when it's his own coach denying him the ability to have both the Heisman moments of, let's see if I can convert this on 4th and 9, and let's see if I can get the 2-point conversion on the road to get my team into the playoff. I ask you the question, do you factor in at all that his own coach denied him the moments at the end he would have needed for the story?
My argument watching that Syracuse game back, and I did that, I think we blew that game trying to get Cam Ward the Heisman because we were averaging 6 yards a carry in that game. And people say 21-0. They scored right away. So a 2-touchdown lead, you salt the game away.
And this is a rule, Dan. You can't have your Heisman moment come against Syracuse. You just can't. I mean, Heisman moments don't happen against Syracuse.
Cam Ward had 6 first-place votes. Travis Hunter had 552. I do not think 546 people were swayed by that play.
Yeah, no, probably not. I'm going to tell you guys.
Who was Travis Hunter's Heisman moment against?
I have no idea. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys now.
Not
that
Syracuse.
You guys know that
what happened?
Nah, I'm too late. Nah, I'm just bailed on it. Nah, it's just, my brain froze. Travis Homer's still in the NFL. I'll leave.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, I'm just going to go home for the year.
But what happened?
I'll see you guys next year.
Because
I was positive it was Travis Homer, and then there was Travis Hunter, and I'm like, I'm going to say the name wrong, so I'm just going to say nothing, and you guys normally just you're an idiot, and you keep talking, and then no one spoke. Yeah. And then it became awkward, and I figured, well, someone's going to make it less awkward. Yeah.
I wasn't. To clear, it was my fault.
Okay,
my
but
bad.
Yeah. No, it wasn't yours.
No.
It's Dan, really.
Let me tell you the gift that you just gave me, because I'm not even making this up. I'm trying to throw it to the toy tribe, but Cuban Santa's got hair in his lips, and as you're talking to me, because I'm like, okay, I can just toss the show to Billy, right? I hear from Lewis in my headset, don't go back to Cuban Santa. Don't go back to Cuban Santa.
I heard that too. That's why I got distracted.
There was no need for pepper spray to be rained down on me. And I sustained wartime left eye injury. Ohio State, sucks drama you lost, that's the deal. The video clearly shows, with my eye almost blinded, there's Harry and Lucy laughing.
Baby, I can tell you that I'm pissed they hit Rose with the spray. Oh, she sounded like a goose who stepped on with heels, yeah. Even though Rose was in June, there's Harry and Lucy laughing.
Even though I wasn't doomed, there's Harry and Lucy laughing.
I've got a shameful confession, a couple of them around this song. One, I can't tell what some of the lyrics are, which hurts me because I am so moved with that song that I will tell you, I have not felt music like that in about 5 years, where it just really reaches me, her pain of like, oh no, why did they pepper spray Rose? And in the back row, I'm looking at Lucy, and she's gazing at the heavens with a radiant smile on her face at her friend being pepper sprayed.
It was funny. And look, Rose was in pain for about 10 minutes, and then it was just funny. I think Rose is a phenomenal singer. However, I have become used to it because she sings all the time. And I don't actually love that because we'll be in the car, I'll be playing music, and Rose will be singing a completely different song than what we're listening to in the car. She will be singing a different song.
Okay.
Usually Florence and
All
the
right.
Machine, and we have to
All right.
say, hey, Rose, can you stop?
All right, Lucy, let me help me right now produce a live, what I'm trying to do here, a live radio and television moment, okay? Help me do this, produce this segment with me because I've got Rose out here. We're a bit of a guerrilla outfit, okay? We're telling Ricky Williams yesterday that he's got to rain down holy hell on the University of Texas so that you can get into a game. We got
You said that, I didn't say that.
I know I
You
said
said
that.
that.
We got Cuban Santa over at Flanagan's over here, and he might steal your toys. He might take your gift cards. He wants your cash. I don't think we're doing this legally or well so far, and I don't trust the technology, and his mustache and beard don't work right. But Rose is holding the camera, and he's in front of the camera. Can we flip-flop them so I can ask Rose some questions here? And we're trying to do a toy drive at Flanagan's. We're trying to get people out there in the next couple of hours. Can I talk to Rose, Lucy, and try to make you giggle? Oh, thank you. This is going to be so good. So Lucy,
I'm
here's
already laughing.
look how happy. Okay, yes, please. Just I want Lucy Cam here. I want to isolate, please. Give me all Lucy Cam here, just as she smiles and looks at Rose, because the question I want to ask Rose, thank you, Rose, for helping us in production from what I'm imagining is a puddle in a parking lot, because this is not the most glamorous Flanagan's, but it's one of the legendaries. And Rose, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you say the name, please, of the the Italian name of the person who has been accused of killing a CEO in the street over healthcare symbolism?
Luigi Migiani.
Okay.
Nailed it.
That was better.
It was better than you were doing yesterday. I think you've been practicing. I think you've been cheating for this moment. Can you try again? I want to. Can you try again?
Luigi Migiani.
Can you be worse?
Luigi Migiani. Luigi Migini?
Yes.
Yeah, there
Luigi
it is.
Migiani.
That was
Yeah.
it, Rose. You got
There
it.
you go.
got it.
Jimmy
Now you get it. Be
Finally.
worse.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rose. I appreciate it. Luigi Mangione.
Migini.
Now we're getting it.
Do you want Tony now?
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mignini.
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mignoni.
I think she nailed it.
Yeah, Mignoni, bro.
Let's try this one.
I'm Spanish. I speak Italian.
Eric Mangini.
Oh, that's fácil. Eric Maggini.
Huh?
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mignoni. Mignoni.
Frank
Mignoni.
Catalanato.
That's a tough one.
Frank Evangelista.
Good.
Wait, say that again?
Frank
what?
Catalanato.
Yeah.
Frank Abonardo.
Yeah.
Rose, did you know Travis Homer's a bear?
What?
Got it.
What?
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mignoni. Luigi Mignoni. Manino Hunoni. Ciao, le bella. Buongiorno.
Come visit her at the Flanigans in Coconut Grove and drop off a toy. Don't just visit her. That'd be weird.
Luigi Mangione.
Luigi Mignoni.
That's how you do it.
There you go.
Adrian
Even with that
Wojnarowski.
When Sue can't even say it, it's tough.
Try it.
Asian wins. Say it again, sorry.
Adrian Wojnarowski, I think.
Agent Wusinelaiski.
Yeah.
This is fun. She has an accent.
She has an accent.
That's the game we're playing. Right on the line. That is the game. Right on it. And bring us your toys.
At least we're being subtle with it, though.
Yes.
That's where we earn
so
the points.
subtle. Rose, hand the microphone to Cuban Santa Claus over there. Bring him your cash, your gift cards, and your gifts for toys, your toys for kids.
Now you're talking.
In 45 minutes, though, when they open.
Yes. So, Tony, tell people to come on out. This is an old-style radio. Stugotz, you remember when we used to do these?
Oh, I love them.
Yes, it's a radio remote in the streets of Miami. Gather around, Miami. We're asking for your toys. Come meet Cuban Santa Tony. Today we are at the Flanigans in Coconut Grove, the famous one. There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Tony's top 5. Rose, get behind the camera. Tony's top 5. We're going live. So we got Toy Drive and live content that Mike Schur was making fun of yesterday. Man, that's a high compliment, guys. We skip past those around here. Mike Schur knows of Tony's top 5, and he thinks it's ridiculous that Tony's top 5 has such basic observations. And I accused Mike Schur of not getting the show.
Right.
I accused Mike Schur. He was insulted. Mike Schur, a comedy genius, a giant. He did not get the show because, of course, Tony's top 5 are the most obvious things. Of course. He's at a Flanagan's parking lot. He's around puddles. He's asking for toys, and he's giving you.
Those are puddles of pee.
No, come on.
Dan, I am telling you, I love Flanagan's. We're doing a good thing. It's a toy drive. Bring your toys, bring your cash, bring everything you have, okay?
I think Rose just unplugged the decorative thing behind Tony by mistake.
I have spent so many nights in that Flanagan's. I mean,
Rose just unplugged something that does not belong to her at Flanagan's.
Oh, Jesus.
That's not part of our promotion. That's just us. Look, Flanagan gave us a space in a parking lot. We're collecting toys. Don't make us look like fools. Go support Tony. Get some. Look, take our incompetence, ride it into the sky. If you support this kind of content live on television, capable of falling into a puddle and electrocuting Tony, bring your toys, save Cuban Santa's life.
She's got it, man. She really does. We were trying to force it, and we probably fell on the wrong side of it, and then she's just organically making magic on her own.
No, look at her. I missed that. I've not seen that as video content. I have not seen that since Billy fell over.
Get out of the way.
Tony, get out of the way.
This is her segment now.
Tony, get out of the way.
Stay right there.
Get out of the way,
Move.
Tony.
Yeah.
Can't see Tony anymore.
Podcasters got to take our word for this one.
She's my favorite person on the planet.
Plug it back in, Rose.
No, don't plug it back in, Rose. You got this.
This is great.
All right, Tony can come back.
All right, Tony, come on back.
She's legitimately pleading for help.
Yeah.
She lost her hat, too.
Tony, you there? There we go.
Ah.
All right,
here.
Tony, give it to us.
All right, Walt. Tony's top 5.
Where's
My bad. Tony's top 5? Damn. Thank you. All right, Tony's top 5 is brought to you by Branches.
Give that
Today,
shirt a tug,
that's our
Dan. You're gonna hate
sponsorship.
that. You're gonna hate that visual.
Untuck it.
No.
You might want to get up, Dan.
You're better now. Better now.
All right, sorry about that, Tony. We had to look out for our guy.
We have a Jeremy song we can play? Or?
All right, number 5.
Go ahead, Tone.
It was nice to see the vestiges of the Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams connection this week, like the ghost of Christmas past. It was fun.
I hate them.
Is Dan there? Is he alive? What happened to Dan?
He's on the floor. He's laughing at Rose. So let's move on to number 4,
Oh, okay.
Tony. So you were excited about Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers. They turned back the clock. It made me want them both
It was
to come
just
back
nice-
next year. Yeah.
It was just nice to see, like, oh, that's what it used to look like.
Mhm.
That's right. That's what it was supposed to look like. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
It was fun.
Yep.
Number 4, Lions in the bad spot of losing not only the battle, but did they also lose the war? Makes you think. A lot of guys got injured during that Bills game. David Montgomery out for the season, a couple D linemen, a couple corners. All of a sudden, that team's not as deep as it used to be.
It's a good loss, though, Tom.
It is. It's the loss you want at this time.
They lost like 6 guys.
Yeah, but it allows Dan
They lost like
Campbell.
6 guys again.
It doesn't matter. Good loss. It allows him to humble his team and hit the reset button.
It's the time to
Yes.
get hurt, too, headed
Yes.
into the playoffs.
This is when you want to get hurt.
Yeah. No, you have 3-4 weeks
Good
to
time.
get
Good spot
healthy.
to circle the wagons.
Montgomery's out for the year.
Well,
But is
Yeah,
it the
out for the
full
year.
year?
It's never a good time for
there's
that.
only 2
regular
weeks
year.
left in the year, so
He has to have MCL
Calendar
surgery. He's out
year?
for like 6 months.
I don't. Well, he can achieve all things through Christ.
Number 3, Tony.
Yes, but not this one. All right, number 3. I can't wait for the Chiefs to pull off a Christmas miracle by making Carson Wentz look like the MVP now that Patrick Mahomes is hurt.
Billy has some thoughts on Carson Wentz and Nick Foles.
that's for later.
Billy,
We're
care
going to
to
go
share?
full circle later.
He was
Yeah.
just
Yes.
laughing to
Don't
himself
worry.
about those thoughts,
Yeah.
apparently.
Foles circle.
Yeah, what were
we'll
they?
talk about it later. We'll discuss it later. Carson Wentz has a chance to go
Wow.
full circle, but we'll talk about it later. Number 2,
Full
Tone.
circle, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Yep.
Number 2. You're tucked away in bed. It's Christmas Eve. It's nighttime. About 11:30, close to midnight. You hear a pitter-patter on the roof.
Ooh, pitter patter.
You're like, what could that be?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, you kind of sneak out of your bedroom. You're walking down the hall. You hear somebody inside next to the Christmas tree. You hear some toys rattling. You hear something. You're like, could that be? There's no way. You kind of like look over the corner of the wall, right? The hallway. You kind of look over, and you see the outline of jolly old Saint Nick, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he's real. You kind of take a step over to see, is that really him? And then he tells you, there's one for you right there, kid. Turn around. All of a sudden, a little tiny box right where you were. How did he know you were there? How did he know to put the box there? All of a sudden, you open up the box. What is it? It's a 40 burger. You look at it, you're like, a 40 burger? All of a sudden, Santa turns around. Guess who Santa is? Baker Mayfield.
Oh, wow.
He tells you,
Yeah.
here come the Bucks.
It was a long way to go for a 40 burger.
It was a wordy number 2,
What?
Tone. It was. I mean,
Pat McAfee says the Bucks can beat anybody.
they
Yeah,
can.
They can beat anybody.
Check out that schedule. I mean, the Bucks are going. They're going to go into the playoffs on like an 8-game winning streak. They are.
They
They've beaten the Lions at full
They've
strength.
beaten the Lions. They've beaten
Yes.
the Eagles.
Yep. Good team. Number 1, Tone.
He said they're on their way. Number 1, we were talking a couple weeks ago about who's who, right? Where the Packers are who when they lost to the Lions. Who's who? Well, I'm here to tell you, the Whoville population is 6. There are 6 people, 6 teams in Whoville, okay? My bad. My beard's getting onto the microphone.
It's okay.
There's six teams in Whoville right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Bills, residents of Whoville. The Philadelphia Eagles, residents of Whoville.
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit Lions, still residents of Whoville. Kansas City Chiefs, residents of Whoville. Baltimore Ravens, resident of Whoville. And just sneaking in, right under the gun.
Whoville.
Dan? Oh, Dan, you're there?
Yeah, well,
Welcome,
Tony,
Dan.
see,
Not done.
here's the thing, Tony. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This has never happened before in the history of the show, not in 20 years.
Whoville?
I have never before seen a segment stolen so effortlessly from someone as Rose just stole this segment from you. Rose just... what was happening behind you is the funniest thing this show has ever done.
Dan, we dug ourselves out of that awkwardness,
Yeah.
and we're giving Tony
Yes.
a shine.
Yeah.
Not to throw it back in his
No,
face
it's
and
okay.
have him
He
He
spiral.
just told a story
It's
about
okay,
Baker
I don't-
Mayfield.
Tell
the
Dan
40
about the 40
burgers.
burger, Dan.
Whoville,
Tony.
yeah, do the whole
Yeah,
story
do
again.
Yeah,
Do it
Dan
again.
didn't
Do it
hear
again.
it. Yeah.
Number
Do the
two.
whole story
All right, hold
again.
on a
Yeah,
second.
number two, Tony. What
I
night is
think
it?
there were three all of
I'm
a sudden.
not
There's a
doing that.
pitter-patter on the roof.
What
Dan.
night is it? Pitter-patter.
Lucy,
You looked around a
we
wall.
went
Dan.
from Lucy's roaring
hold
with
on.
laughter to Tony's solo drum act of "There's a pitter patter on the wall," and the big joke at the end is Baker Mayfield had a 40 burger.
No, you didn't hear it correctly.
No,
Tony,
you
number two.
And later we're going full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Well, that was a joke.
Full circle.
That's what I
Balls.
said.
Yeah, we'll get
Did
to
I
that
not say
later.
it? I think I get it.
Full
Because he
circle.
got,
Yeah.
he
Hold on,
didn't get to win the
spoilers.
Super
Right,
Bowl
now
like
spoilers.
Foles did. Now it's his
Spoilers.
turn, full
Right,
circle.
right,
I think I just ruined it.
We'll play the game later, though.
Jeez.
It was hard to follow.
Number two, Tony.
No, I'm not doing that.
What night is
Last resident of Whoville.
Oh, Whoville.
Not doing it. Yeah, last resident of Whoville. The Packers.
Wow.
Whoville population of 6.
Tony,
Whoville, the Packers just snuck under the gun.
They have that look, Tony. They have that look.
Packers are good. I've got a little future on them on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Oh, wow.
Packers to win the whole thing.
Ah, little
just
future.
a little sprinkling
Just
that
a
I
little.
had in August, baby. Got a good little price on it. So,
Now,
again, your
all right,
Whoville
all right,
population,
listen to me.
Bills, Eagles, Lions, Chiefs, Packers, Ravens.
Wait, this is if in a
Whoville.
look. I need to aggressively make DraftKings understand in a contract year that if the holidays are not filled with Cuban Santas telling you what to bet on this game from a parking lot outside of a bar, if Feldman and the others don't turn this into Tony making some money the next 10 days as Cuban Santa gives you gambling advice, we will have failed as a company. We will have failed as a partnership. Tony, make it happen. I want it raining money on Cuban Santa.
They're
Cash,
selling Rose now. Sorry, we've moved on.
cash and toys. What do you want to tell people about what they can do here for the next couple of hours, Tony, before we go back out to Rose later to see if she can pronounce Luigi Mangione?
Absolutely, Dan. 2721 Bird Avenue. We're here at the Flanigans in Coconut Grove. We're accepting all toys.
Yes.
We're accepting all toys unwrapped. Gift cards for kids that are a little bit older. Bring those. We'll put them right here in this box, and you're supporting an amazing cause with the Branches charity.
Thank you, Tony. It is Branches. It is branchesfl.org if you want to just, in a real easy way. I know many of you may not be able to get over to the places we're talking about. Our show is now, on all over the place. But if you want to help with what it is that we're doing, you can participate with branchesfl.org. If you're local, you can drop off things, unwrap toys at Corner Coffee here at the Elser. 398 Northeast 5th Street, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. The next couple of days, we're going to be out at Vivo, where we were for the watch party.
And that's very convenient because you can just pull up to that location, and it's in a mall. So if you don't have a toy with you, walk in the mall, grab a toy, and bring it to Vivo.
And so we're going to make this real easy over the next few days. We're trying to do this, in an old-style radio remote thing over the next 3 days where we gather somewhere. And if fans of this show, you have a couple of days to gather or want to just bring us stuff physically, we would love to relay your happiness to kids during what can be a tough time.
Tony mentioned two teams there, the Lions and the Bucks. First with the Lions, Dan Campbell said after the game, that loss is exactly what we needed.
Okay.
I told you, Dan. I mean, Dan Campbell loves a good loss.
We told you this last
Yes.
week that this was a must-lose for both teams and that one of them was going to get adversity of this. And Dan Campbell today on 97.1 The Ticket said, quote, "This is exactly what we needed. Sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth and remember what it used to be like to really appreciate where you are. And we'll do that."
Okay, so one thing I wanted to do, Stugotz, because of what Billy is doing there and what you guys are doing in general, we have gotten to the point of the season where you really like making the confident statements of knowing something. When you say 15 weeks in, hey, you know what I know? The Bucks can beat anybody. And the Packers can beat anybody.
Yeah.
That's what I got for you. They can beat anybody. And those are two new teams to the they can beat anybody group.
The Rams, too.
Yeah, the Rams, too.
That Packers who's who performance actually paved the way for the Rams to host a playoff game and beat anybody.
I actually have my top 5 teams you don't want to see come playoff time. How about that?
In fairness to Dan, Tony knew that in August. He just didn't tell us.
That's right.
All right. Tony struggled through that segment. And Lucy, holy, I mean,
I have a top 5.
What Rose does to make you laugh, I can't believe that the outtakes aren't filled with things that Rose has done to make you laugh.
Sing it like Jeremy.
That was
She's filming. She's holding the camera, so she's not
I know, but
like-
that was unbelievable what was happening behind Tony that entire segment. I could not have gotten paid actors to make that look like that.
She is so unintentionally funny. When we were at the Big Ten Championship game, we're watching the game. I look over, Rose is just watching Netflix during the game on her computer. One time, Harry and I asked her what her favorite American comedy movie was, and she said Miss Congeniality 2. Yeah. The second one. She is.
Wait, what's in 2? What's 2?
I don't know. You gotta ask Rose. She loves it.
She's like, "You're not going to believe this. We're going back to you. You're going back to another pageant."
What?
And she's like, "What?
They ran it back?
I did this once before."
I have a top 5.
Okay. All right. That's how you do it, Jeremy. Teach the man.
I had to do it
something.
like that? I mean-
Yes. Let's see. I think it'll fall apart. I think that's as well as you can do
Number
that.
5, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Yes. So let's see.
What's the list?
Okay.
Top 5 teams you don't want to see come playoff time.
Okay, number 4. It's Stugotz storming his way into the segment with a Christmas song to knock Jeremy and Tony out of the way on This Is How You Do It, kids. Number 4.
The Rams. You do not want to see that team come Christmas time.
It's just one syllable. I guess it's tough.
I think
Number 3.
I think it's going to fall apart.
The Green Bay Packers.
Not bad. Not bad.
Number 4 was my favorite. Just Rams.
Rams sports talk.
Number 2. The Minnesota Vikings. No one thinks they're any good. I mean, why? Number one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes. All right, so it's a different version of the same game said a different way.
Dan, they've won 4 straight. They're going to win their next 3. If you look at the schedule, it's Dallas, it's Carolina, and the Saints. You do not want Baker Mayfield in the first round. Baker, because some teams like to ease into the playoffs, Baker doesn't ease into anything. I mean,
Okay, I would like very much.
I have an important announcement to make. Rose just texted me and said Miss Congeniality 2 is not about going back. It's about Sandra Bullock's character saving her friend who was kidnapped by accident. What?
She got me.
The rare.
I haven't seen Miss Congeniality 2. I'm sorry.
So Rose has you got it all wrong. You were talking a language here. Mike Ryan came in trying to support with faux fake. You didn't have it right on Miss Congeniality 2.
I took a guess that they decided to repeat the formula of the wildly successful Miss Congeniality 1, and I missed the mark. For that, I apologize.
Well, I think this is why Lucy was saying the randomness of that being your favorite comedy of all time. Like that, Jessica's
English
response.
comedy. She gets really mad when you say it's her favorite comedy of all time.
Okay, but I saw you two.
You sure there isn't a beauty pageant? Because Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit, was kind of like different, but also similar in that she was still a nun.
I didn't understand why it is that you were showing movies to Rose yesterday and you were trying to get her to explain things. I was watching you and Rose, and I'm saying, if someone were filming this, this would be a hysterical language barrier moment where Lucy and Rose are trying to enjoy laughter at the same time, but they're not enjoying things at the same time. But Lucy is finding Rose being frustrated by trying to explain why this is funny.
Well, so she showed us a clip which was just Sandra Bullock chasing down Dolly Parton. And she was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, Rose, this isn't that funny. And then she said, okay, I have a great idea. I'll show you and Jeremy this really funny Spanish TV show, but it doesn't have English subtitles. And Jeremy and I don't speak Spanish. She said, don't worry, I'll translate it for you. So she showed us the trailer. She translated the first 5 seconds and then just couldn't stop laughing throughout the rest of the trailer. So Jeremy were like, hey, we have no idea what is happening here or what's going on. But she was like, you have to be able to tell it's funny. And that's pretty much all my conversations with Rose.
You guys have traversed the language. She's fighting through it all with an accent, and she is uproariously funny. And now she has replaced Chris Cody in most capable of producing a surprise. This is now 2 times we've gone to her where she is trying to help out, and everything is funnier than what came before it. She's a natural-born star, and she's a singer, and she's collecting toys with Cuban Santa Tony, who better have a gambling sponsorship by the end of this segment. Or I walk, DraftKings.
Hold on a second. What?
What happened?
Let's not hitch our wagon to Tony.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
I think we need to strap
That's
ourselves.
how we ended up out of ESPN.
Cuban Santa. I think we need to ride Cuban Santa's top 5 into the sky.
Let's take a vote.
Cuban Santa was going to be wearing shorts, and we'd see some balls.
I was hoping.
Really?
That's a callback.
Yes, it is. Well, you can't explain that it's a callback.
I don't want people to think I'm talking about my
Jingle balls,
Yeah.
jingle balls, jingle all the way.
Yeah, I understand. That's a bad spot for you, Jess. That's a bad spot.
It's fine. I did it to myself.
Yes.
Also, Mike, I'm sorry. You made a comment about miscongeniality too, so I thought you'd seen it. So then I put you on the spot, and then
And he faked it.
I was just saying, I'm like a dog with a bone on this one.
Okay,
There's got to be some sort of beauty contest.
There is.
in it.
It's called Miscongeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous. Gracie Hunt was never thrilled to have to go undercover as a competitor in a beauty pageant. Now Gracie, who works for the FBI, is dealing with some very public attention thanks to her waltz down the runway. Her overnight celebrity does not impress her new partner, Regina King. But the pair has to put aside their differences when one of Gracie's former beauty queen pals, Heather Burns, turns up missing, and the FBI is put on the case.
Yeah, so Rose texted me back and said there is not a beauty pageant because Sandra Bullock became the face of the FBI, so she couldn't go back as a secret agent because she's too famous now.
There has to be a pageant.
There is a
somewhere.
pageant. She's in
There
a
has
pageant
to be.
dress.
Yeah, there
on
has
the
to be a
cover.
pageant. Maybe she's one of the judges at the pageant.
Is
I've
one
done-
of the
take my word for it. I've seen it several times.
Is one of the possibilities, Mike, in any of the hypotheticals we're exploring that you might be wrong?
No, not at all. No, I'm telling you, there's a pageant in this goddamn movie.
It's Mike's
said
favorite
there is
American
not a
comedy.
pageant.
There has to be a pageant. She's in it. She's got the whole like pageant sash.
But you refuse to acknowledge that one of the possibilities.
I did
here
initially, but
might
now
be
I'm a
that
man
you're-
and I'm doubling down.
Do you
And
know
I'm
who
telling
you're
you,
speaking
there
to?
is 100% a goddamn pageant in this movie.
Okay, you know what? You've gone now aggressive to lacking confidence. You were cornered by everybody on what your facts were, and you've come out aggressively loud, wrong, and no one trusts your information anymore. You've damaged your credibility with, we all saw it. You were kind of faking your way through that. We all saw it, and we didn't support you on it. We all saw it, and we didn't live the lie with you.
Rose has texted me that we can do a movie watch day at the office because Mike needs to watch it. I'll
Let's
be
do that
opting
next
out of
week.
this
Yeah,
one.
let's do that next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it on the 25th.
That's a good idea, Billy.
Well, the following
I'm
week.
free on the
yeah.
25th.
I'm not. Chief Steelers. It's going to ruin my Christmas.
I've basically seen it with how many clips Rose has played me. I don't know the plot or anything.
So
but-
everyone's in the car singing one song, and she's just doing Florence at the top of her lungs.
Yeah,
That's
it's
insane
either-
behavior.
No, it drives me up a wall. It's either Florence or it's Wicked.
Is she wearing
And Wicked
headphones?
is even worse. Sometimes she has headphones. For Wicked, she is just always singing Wicked.
Okay, if I may, please, because there were 2 places I really wanted to get here, okay? But I've been trying to get here for about 10 days. I really just wanted to talk about the Bears for a minute? Because I know Jessica's
They
so
stink.
mad
Next.
she's so mad at the Bears. And I really do want to talk, as we talk about all the football tough guys, I mean, the Panthers going in last night to Edmonton with a reminder. Like
What a game.
No, but I mean, that's a national echoer where you're like, look, I know we're all going to check back in the postseason and it's going to get ratcheted to another place, but reminding Edmonton on the road, okay, yeah, you can go 5 goals, but we got 6 for you, including one from behind the net. Like, it was startling to me to watch the juxtaposition of, oh, shit, the Heat just lost to the Pistons, and I don't care. I'm over here. I'm over here because they got my attention last postseason, and I'm watching what feels like playoff hockey because the Panthers want to remind Edmonton, oh, if we see you again, you don't get the sport from us just with a good regular season.
Right. It was so impressive from this standpoint. They won the Cup last year, Edmonton trying to prove something. I believe the Panthers were down 4-2 in that game, and they came back to win it 6-5. That's such an impressive win, and they did it in Edmonton.
And Reinhardt with one of the best plays, like stealing the puck on one end, taking it the length of the ice, and then putting it. Did it hit off the Skinner's back?
Yeah, he hit it off of Skinner. This is a complete play. Reinhardt's a great two-way player. Doesn't get the attention because he's on the team with Barkov, who was out, by the way.
Right.
And this was such a huge win because the Oilers came in red hot, 5 in a row, scoring over 5 goals a game in that 5. And they flatly don't lose when they score over 5 goals. Panthers haven't been shut out again. The usual part in the calendar where they dip. They go down 2 goals and you think it's over. And then they have this incredible performance. And that is how you fake something without having watched it.
That's amazing.
I definitely didn't give up on that game after they went down 2 goals. Definitely didn't.
But the reason
Box score will help.
The reason I want to get back to the Bears, but before I do this, because I haven't been able to do this for 10 days, and we've got a room, Stugotz, that wants to talk about something. Everybody wants to talk about it, and it is not a conversation that it includes us, and everyone wants to talk about Wicked, and I have failed at any point to talk about Wicked, and Mystery Crate's going to get it, or there is some valuable Wicked content around how much the people in that shipping container care about. Jeremy's not here. It's going to exasperate him that this is the day that he is not here because everybody has wanted to talk about this for about 10 days.
I actually saw it as a Wicked virgin. I had never seen the play at all, and I was into it.
That's
and,
what people in Boston call virgins.
Yeah.
Wicked.
But I have one critique. Jeff Goldblum. You're just Jeff Goldblum, okay?
Whoa.
Like he's
what do you mean by that?
He's playing the Wizard of Oz, and it's like I just see Jeff Goldblum. Like I thought that was a bad casting. I just anytime he's in a role, I just am looking at Jeff Goldblum. There are plenty of actors like this that they're just.
My wife loves him. He's one of her favorites.
Yeah, he's a zaddy.
I'm
he's
good looking.
Totally good with the Wizard should be a Jeff Goldblum type.
Right.
And so Jeff Goldblum playing himself, I didn't have an issue with it, but I get what you're saying. But I also was a Wicked virgin going into it. I love The Wizard of Oz, but I'd never seen the musical, and I came away blown away by it. And that's exactly what movies should be. It felt like a throwback, not just because it was a musical, but you had these practical sets being built, and it took you to another world without this weird greenish hue of special effects clouding everything. It didn't feel like a Marvel movie. It felt like these were things that were rooted in real tangible things, and I loved it.
Any other Wicked virgins around here? That was a terrible.
That was
Boston.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I did
daring.
see it on Broadway. And I think that it's absolutely absurd that we're doing this when Jeremy's not here, when he dressed up as Elphaba last week. Like, this is just like, I understand, like, he's the annoying guy and his character's annoying and we all are annoyed by him, but this is just mean. Now it's just mean. This
I didn't do it on
mean,
purpose.
Dan.
No,
Wow,
Jessica, wait a minute. I understand. Wait a minute.
Played 17 of his songs today.
Wait a minute. I understand that this is the first day in any of the days that everyone has wanted to talk about Wicked, where I have 3 of the 4 people in who want to talk about Wicked on the same day. Your enthusiasm here, we can't produce anything other than that Stugotz Wicked bad joke and Chris Cody's bad impersonation there. It seems like the other people in that room know they're Wicked more than Chris Cody, who's a virgin and is already here to tell us that Jeff Goldblum is overrated as an actor.
No, not as an actor, just in that role.
very confident to do that.
Why are you assigning the bad joke to me? It was Jess. I mean, I thought it was,
That
a funny
great
joke. Yeah.
The Wicked Virgin.
No, but
You called it Wicked.
Yes,
which
I
is
did do that.
What they do in Eastern Europe.
Well, Jeremy's got a Michael Vick song over there
Oh,
because
no. I
yes,
mean,
Michael
song for everything.
I guess you can't put my dick in a box.
All right, we're reaching now. This is not a Christmas song.
Did he just send that in?
Yes, right. He just because
I think it's because of the head coaching rumors.
Can't put my dick in a box.
But it is a stretch. I mean,
Maybe he's trying to project what we're going to talk
He
about.
is working really hard
Is he today.
today.
trying to get a record deal? Like, what are we doing? Because like these used to be like funny. Like, oh, this person's so. It used to be Taylor. Like, no one can sing. This is a fun. Like, you're bad at singing. You're
Okay,
trying to get
but
a record deal. What's happening?
we
here?
could admit the 201 yesterday was funny.
Can we?
I didn't hear it. Can I hear it?
I don't even remember that
What is
one.
the 201?
I think Rose needs. I think Jeremy wants what Rose now has, which is just a natural, organic way of singing in a way that delights us instead of annoys us.
You better watch out, you better just slide. You better not tackle, I think you might die. Two, will you please get down? Two, will you please get down? Two, will you please just get down?
All right, that's enough of that.
8 more minutes.
But it is how I spent the game watching. It is. It's some form of Christmas.
Jesus Christ. Two, will you please get down?
It is. I want you guys to imagine me, okay? Look, now that it's been unmasked, now that I'm clearly a homer who just votes for Cam Ward, I will be honest with you about how I watched the Dolphin game on Sunday. It's like this, Stugotz. It is.
Someone get down for 6 and 8. Like, okay, so you can be in the mix with the Colts. Get down. It's your brain, not head first. Slide. It's Christmas. Christmas in the hospital is shitty. Get down. Get down. I'm worried about your brain. Travis Homer's a bear?
Well, you can have a long career if you're good at special teams.
Good news for Restrepo.
I have been remiss in not telling people that Greg Cody Tuesday is not today, is going to be tomorrow. Greg Cody Tuesday is going to be Wednesday tomorrow. I'm sorry for not addressing it earlier. People,
you should be.
Yeah, I've grown to expect him here on Tuesdays. They like their Cody Tuesdays, and to the degree that some of you didn't notice that he was gone, thank you for not noticing, because I notice whenever he's not gone on Tuesdays because he's an endless fountain of content around here. But he will be tomorrow for those of you who miss him. We will check in with Tony one more time, and I will tell you again that this toy drive that we're trying to do a little bit at the last minute, today with Cuban Santa Tony, and tomorrow with Roy, a Roy drive tomorrow, Stoic Santa. Not going to be a lot of joy at that one, I don't think. Not going to feel like, I mean, maybe we can summon Santa's joyous Christmas time, and this Roy drive will escalate tomorrow at Vivo Mall. But do you guys
Dolphin Mall.
Dolphin Mall. Excuse me, Vivo at Dolphin Mall.
Vivo's a restaurant in the Dolphin Mall.
Yeah, forgive me. I'm just worried. Today's thing, I'm being told that they're being towed now. That they're being that's a famously small parking lot at Flanagan's. Now we've got Cuban Santa, and our tow drive is being towed, but Tony's still there trying to keep things together. And when I walked into the other studio, and you guys are going to have to help me here, Lucy, Jessica, and Billy, they were all laughing at Cuban Santa's insecurities. All of them were laughing. That's not falsehoods. Billy,
Falsehoods.
Jessica, you guys.
Lucy.
I was laughing at Rose trying to replug that inflatable thing. We don't know if it's happened. We don't know the situation there. I have a lot of questions.
Look.
It feels like you're trying to steal this segment away from Tony by making it Rose's top 5. And
Roy's tomorrow.
Yeah, Roy's tomorrow.
At Vivo Mall, Dolphin Mall.
People really miss Roy's top 10.
Vivo
I get
Mall.
they
Armed
really,
and fabulous.
They really miss Roy's top 10.
Sorry, we wrote them all. There are no more Roy's top 10s.
Is Dwork going to be there?
That's a good question.
Yeah, hockey
Seemed
show.
like a package deal.
Right.
They're getting towed?
What about Ice Ice Baby? So this toy drive is a bit of a gorilla outfit. Look, I want to say something real quick here, Stugotz, before we get into the sports-tainment stuff that we need to be talking about.
Okay.
I am really grateful for the group of people who have made this startup business something that can exist for 3 years when everyone's got their own hardships, and it's been hard. And I just threw a toy drive at them. And they're all overworked, and they're tired, and they would like not a whole lot of – like it'd probably be better to stumble into the holidays without more work. But now I've insisted on a toy drive out of nowhere. So I need to support Cuban Santa, even though I don't trust him with your gift cards or your cash. And I got to trust Stoic Roy to go to the Everglades, Stugotz.
Right.
Like this is you said you made a joke in
It's Doral.
Yeah, it's not the Everglades.
It's not even west of the Turnpike.
Stugotz made a joke yesterday that his 3 weeks of travel this season are equivalent to what Lucy has done because he went out to Dolphin Mall.
I mean, there's a Topgolf west of it.
My
Now,
body-
after that
It's a hike.
Topgolf, it's the Everglades.
Yeah, my body hurts. I mean, it's been a long football season. I don't know how you feel, Mike, but my body hurts. We have made a lot of trips this year, and the trip to the Dolphin Mall is the one that really got me.
Football season ended in Syracuse for me.
I still don't understand how Carvana works. Because there's one of those right next to Topgolf. Like, they make it seem like it's a car vending machine, but it's not like that.
It's like more of a car Pez dispenser.
Really?
Huh.
Like, I don't
Big
swipe
difference.
my card and then, like, push, like, A15 and then
It's quite the shell
Dodge
game.
Ram comes down. Like,
I'm
that's-
always curious. The logistics of a Carvana.
Yeah. Lot to learn. Anyways, how many toys do you think we've collected?
I don't know. I think this is a tough thing, and I think you will enjoy if we don't collect any. I believe the anarchist in you would like the kids to be unhappy. I think
It's not the kids, it's Tony.
I think, well, is it Tony? Well, something is happening in the tension between everybody and Cuban Santa that makes me not get honesty about where it is that Cuban Santa's not happy how all of this is gone because Rose stole his limelight. I didn't do that. I mean, we all
You
saw
did do it.
We all saw it happen.
did do it.
We all saw it
It
happen.
was the 17th time you asked her to pronounce Luigi's name.
Right on
you
the
didn't
line.
do that?
We were dancing on the line. Look, we were dancing on the line. I was getting approval from the room because nobody quite knew. Are we doing something offensive? I don't know, but it's funny. And offensive two ways. because we've made light of like murder in the street now. We do that now. It's just murder in the street. Hey, murder's not a real thing. These aren't human beings. We all live in a simulation. Luigi Mangione.
Well, let's not vamp on this one.
Yeah.
Luigi Mangione.
Is Tony scaring people,
Cares
maybe?
about murder
Why
in the
can he just take off the beard? Why is he wearing a costume?
It's because he's Cuban Santa. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why is he
That
wearing
time of year, Billy.
No, he's in performance as Cuban Santa. And look, you guys know what that Flanagan's is. It lives on a hill. It's a parking lot. It's a very small parking lot. Some people are being towed. We're trying to do a toy drive. Rose is holding up the inflatables that weren't put there by us. She ruined their property. That's not us. I don't know why she was even back there. But it reminded me of Billy at Tim Legler's house. It reminded me of Billy falling into the bushes as an eagle.
Missed that.
Less inflatable somehow.
I don't understand what just happened. I really don't. Our toy drive has fallen into a puddle that Stugotz is saying is filled with urine. He is not, but there is another pee story that for some reason Jessica is desperate to get into.
What is happening?
Thank you for setting it up that way.
You're not full of urine.
I have urine in me. I mean,
There was a photo that was
full of it. Well, I am full of it.
around the internet yesterday. It was a toilet with a grid over it. And the grid was numbered 1 through 9 on the top and A through J on the left, the y-axis, I guess. And people were saying where they aim when they piss. And I saw this picture and I showed it to my boyfriend and I was like, everyone's like an E5, right? Like, is there anywhere else you would aim if you were aiming into the toilet?
Well,
apparently that's not the most common answer.
Battle shits.
If this is late at night and I'm not trying to wake up my wife, I'm an E8 kind of guy.
Yeah, there's a silencer technique, and also you're not in control of how much water is in the bowl. If there is a
Great
bowl
point,
that has
yes.
less water in it, you're probably going to want to go closer to D2 range.
I just
You
noticed
go left.
There's a cat.
You
in
could
this
go
picture.
D2.
I go right.
You go corners.
Yeah.
I mean,
Depends where the water is.
I live in the
Yeah.
8-9 zone.
What?
Like, well, in the middle, like not at the top. I'm not peeing on the rim, but like I'm trying to hit the side of the wall.
But
that is the aiming space.
Why?
Because it's not loud. Like I don't want the like what
Right.
it's.
you want it to
what was that
cascade
sound?
off the side,
bad
and,
sound.
and it limits the sound. You can also sit.
Well, that's I think the women I don't think play this game. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, you guys are all
Depends.
like, all the ladies are like J5, right?
You think we pee
J5.
off the front of the toilet?
Yeah. Well, I guess my mistake. H5.
F5.
Huh?
No,
E5.
I think probably closer.
Really?
It depends if I'm
You lean back
if
on
I'm
it? It's gross.
sitting with my back to the back of the toilet, or if I'm squatting facing the toilet.
What if it's a public restroom?
No, then it depends.
There you
too.
go. Now
It
you
goes
get
where it goes. I mean, I hover.
I'm glad I did that. Weekend observations, please.
A10
It is time
is a
for
long
Stugotz
night,
to
right?
share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, just 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, people were ready to write him off. They said he was washed. They said he should just go ahead and retire. But on Sunday, Dan, he turned back the clocks, reminding everybody why he was a 4-time MVP, dropping dimes all over the field with 289 yards and 3 touchdowns.
No.
And even more impressively, at 41 years old, he could still scoot.
6 carries for 45 yards.
The team's leading rusher. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, Aaron Rodgers is back. Exciting. Hey, Navy, do it in the Army. All the Jets win did is give me hope for next season. I hate them. The Philadelphia Eagles, the rare 12-2 team that feels like a ticking time bomb.
I don't feel like anyone understood Navy do it in the Army.
Well, Navy beat Army, and I'm just telling the midshipmen, do it as a cadet. A lot of people think the Army is harder than the Navy, Dan. You know the old joke from A Few Good Men? We give you a ride, the Army. When Jessup says, you give us a ride when we want to go fight. That's all I'm saying. Do it in the Army.
It was a play on an old
I'm
classic.
full of urine.
Let's not vamp on that one either.
Jesus Christ almighty. Follow-up questions. I probably need to let this one go, but every time I see Eric Crouch on the Heisman stage, it infuriates me. He has no business being there. Same with Jason White. Business is what I was trying to say. Why is Jason White on the Heisman stage?
I know Crouch is there because the Miami guys split the votes.
That's so bad. He had no business winning that thing. Crouch. Very few things in sports tug at the heartstrings quite like a good Heisman Trophy speech. Top 5 sports things that tug at the heartstrings. Number 5, a good Heisman speech. Thank you. Number 4, a good retirement speech. Number 3, the Hawkeye wave. Number 2, Tom Rinaldi's voice. And number 1, Gary Anderson's miss from 38 yards to keep the Vikings out of the 98 Super Bowl. That's the best team to not make a Super Bowl in the history of the NFL. You agree, right? Do you feel bad for Gary Anderson? I'm wondering, Dan, do you? Because he was perfect that season. Perfect. Had a 38-yard field goal to put him in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. He missed it.
It's a one-loss
Tugged
team.
at the heartstrings.
Isn't that the reason that you and Billy say that the Lions had to lose a game? Isn't that team
That's
the
why.
reason that you guys say that?
Yes. It was heartbreaking. I mean, Chris Chandler went to the Super Bowl. Is he the quarterback for the Falcons?
We also didn't say that. Dan Campbell said that.
Yeah. Here come the Senators. Can we stop saying every player is generational?
You were mad about this before the show.
You can't have 20 players be a once-in-a-generation type player. You can't.
You were stomping around. You were like furious around the bacon that you were eating with your bare hands, just stomping around about this.
There's one generational player. That's it. You can't have 20 from one generation. It defeats the purpose. Supposed to wear a glove to eat bacon? I don't get your point.
Well, the point, I'm sorry, I would say that most people eat bacon when walking around with a plate or a napkin or something. It's not just bacon. Do I have this wrong?
I think you eat bacon with your bare hands. I mean,
you walk. I kind of delight in the fact that you're walking around with bacon fingers that are covered in cigarette smoke. But I'm not even judging it. I'm not even judging it. I'm just saying I don't think most people do it that way. It's more observational, honestly, than judgment.
Well, your observations, huh? Being aggressive and going for it on 4th down. You know what the Bills did to the Lions, Dan? They gave them a taste of their own medicine.
They really did.
Dan Campbell is going to cost his team a Super Bowl. How much longer are we going to pretend to care about the NBA Cup? I'm tired of it.
Billy, why does that delight you so much?
It's a big day today. Today's championship day in the NBA
Jesus
Cup.
Christ, enough.
Yeah, today's a championship. Bucks against someone.
Oh, LeBron didn't make it, huh?
Wow.
No, well, he took
Thunder?
vacation.
The Bucks against somebody?
Who are they playing?
I think it's OKC.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, the Thunder. That's right.
Yeah.
Big one.
Amin is joining us from Vegas because he thinks this is an important game.
He got one over on you, buddy.
Jesus.
Free trip to Vegas.
Congratulations to the Carolina Panthers for being favored for the first time in 32 games. Also, good loss. There's nothing like screaming, "Free play!" at your TV when you see somebody jump off sides.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju at Le Batard Show. Do you shout free play at your television when someone jumps off sides? Room? The whole room does
course.
this?
You have to.
Of course.
Caleb had one yesterday.
Yep.
Made the most of it. Did 20 yards or so.
Dan, I thought after Deshaun Jackson, it would never happen again. Why does it keep happening? Why does it keep happening? Cross the goal line and then celebrate your touchdown.
Would you guys watch a 30 for 30 on that? Would you guys watch a Meadowlark documentary on why does it happen? Jason Whitlock said, do white people ever do that? Is it ever a white person who drops the ball before the goal line? We can turn that
How
into
many touchdowns they scored?
a mockumentary. We can turn this into a mockumentary. We can.
Not really a representative sample. You're basically counting on Cooper Kupp.
Mike Allstott dropping it at the goal line.
Quarterback sneaks.
All stop.
I mean, Jalen Hurts.
Most of the white guys are scoring from like an inch out.
Can I ask
they
you
don't
guys-
have the time to drop it before the goal line because they don't have 80-yard steam.
I'm trying to think of the last white guy that could, go for 80 yards. Ricky Prohl?
It's just Cup. Just Cup.
Oh, McCaffrey.
Well, they haven't done it. It's the two-guy sample.
Ricky Prohl.
That's all I had.
God, you didn't have anything.
I mean, Ricky
Oh, yeah.
Prohl was a deep threat.
And it checks out. He's definitely white.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Where was I? I have no idea. Dan, you know what the D in Detroit stands for? Not defense.
Oh, I thought you were going to say done or something
No, they're
more
not
dramatic.
done. They're just getting started. Eagles with a 21-play drive to ice the game. You know what that is, Dan?
No.
It's football. Georgia Tech quarterback Haynes King announced he'll be back next season. That sound you just heard was Mario Cristobal, shuddering in fear, even though the Canes don't play Georgia Tech next season. You were quick. You were coming for that, weren't you? He's still nervous.
I'm still scared, yeah.
Should be.
Mike hasn't given us the real heartbreak of that. You still feel it,
Oh, he's
right?
upset,
You
yeah.
still physically feel that's a season you cared about.
Yeah, it's a bummer for it to end that way. But I watched part of the show yesterday trying to make light of Miami season. It was a good season. It was a real good season.
You could get a cool trophy.
Mm-hmm.
That trophy's
If you
awesome.
win.
I hate the Pop-Tart
If you
Bowl.
win.
Don't even
Why?
get me started on that.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's like the biggest bowl outside of the ones that matter.
I understand that. But like I said, don't get me started on it.
All right.
Needs a better name? What's better than Pop-Tart Bowl?
It just needs a better one.
Timing is everything. Once I saw the new trophy for the Pop-Tart Bowl, I declared it a must-win for Miami.
You hate Camping World Stadium, right?
It's an awful stadium.
Yeah. Every year it feels like it's there.
Yeah.
Or at least every other year. It's weird.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl can only dream of being the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Marshall.
Hold on. If I may, Stugotz, if I can just do this. I'm sorry to interrupt the
Sure.
precious sacred ground
No
that
problem.
is Weekend Observations. Always respected around here.
Mm-hmm.
But we as a show made fun of the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and Jessica reminded us a couple of times on Monday, hey, that's a good bowl. But Miami's season ending against Iowa State in a bowl for Pop-Tarts is something that's getting the best Miami season in 25 years and the best Miami offense we've ever seen made fun of for ending up in a Pop-Tarts bowl. That's a thing that's happening. The University of Miami's last game ends as Pop-Tart punctuation that people are laughing at. Because they didn't get to one of the big games, they're stuck with the Pop-Tarts.
You're really trying to get me started, and I said don't.
It's probably a must-win. Like, you don't want to lose the Pop-Tart.
I'd rather lose it. I'd
No, you
I'd rather
wouldn't. Oh,
opt out.
please. Mario Cristobal last year. I don't want to go to a bowl game. Okay.
Oh,
but
my
I'm
God.
I'd rather
Get
opt
here.
out of it. I don't
No,
I-
you
What?
wouldn't.
What are you, Marshall? I mean,
No. Okay, you got me started on it. My whole thing about the Pop-Tart Bowl is Jess is right when she says it is supposed to be a prestigious bowl and that it's supposed to be the top ACC team that's not going to a CFP game. And if this was a 7-win season, this was an 8-win season. Look, last year it was all about the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. All about it. You can lean into it's a meme bowl.
No.
It's a bowl that exists for memes, and the teams that are playing in it are used as punchlines for the Toasters and the Pop-Tarts, and it's just when you come that close to the CFP, you see the bowl game that is most active making a joke of itself on the internet. It's just kind of like a bummer.
I haven't seen them using Iowa State as a punchline. It's pretty much just been Miami.
You're happy with the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Isn't that the one you'd want to go to?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, like, I understand Mike's sort of take of it does feel very memeified.
I
but
feel like they make fun of the team.
It's too fun.
In the day and age where there's the playoff
God
now
forbid.
and the bowl games that used to be a really big deal are now playoff games, like, and there are so many bowl games. There are 1,000,010 bowl games. You kind of have to find a way to differentiate yourself, and Pop-Tarts has done that by being fun and quirky and having a live edible mascot and a toaster, and I don't know.
We
It's just
respect-
college football. Let's have fun.
We respect the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. No. Okay? Pop-Tart doesn't get off Tostitos.
It's going to get there, though.
give me
Like,
an
it's,
old-
it's not the Tony the Tiger Bowl.
Just give me an old white guy in a royal blue blazer handing me a normal-looking trophy and saying
like it.
congratulations on your season. That's how you actually stick out these days. Everybody, you got to dump mayo, you got to dump potatoes, you got to dump coffee. Like I get it. Like it's all fun and games for
coffee.
everybody. But it's just if this is supposed to be one of the more prestigious ones,
Right.
how about we stop making fun of the teams that are in it?
I think that all the bowls should have a fun little element. Iowa is playing in the Music City Bowl in Nashville, and I think whoever wins that game should get to throw a chair off a bar like Morgan Wallen did. And that should be the trophy.
Lucy, Lucy, I believe that we should get you all access to the Pop-Tart Bowl. Like, if they're in on the joke, you should be the media renegade who is selling Pop-Tart Bowl to the country because of how fun the Pop-Tart Bowl seems to you.
I would go. If you paid for it, I would go. And, like, it's fun. I don't have a problem with it. Like, I think if my team were in it, I would still enjoy it quite a bit. But I think it's fun.
Let's do it.
Iowa State's in it, so Lucy might be rooting for Miami.
I actually kind of like Iowa State.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Shoot us.
They're super nice fans. First 10-win season ever. This is actually a very, like, I know it's a bummer for Mike, but this is a huge deal for Iowa State. It's a huge deal for them, and their fans are going to travel really well. I think I'm excited for them.
Isn't there also a mystery Pop-Tart to be revealed?
There is.
There
you
yes.
go.
I'm with Mike, though. I don't like gimmicky bowls, you know? Give me the Gator Bowl. Give me the Cotton Bowl. Give me a Rose Bowl. Give me an Orange Bowl.
I'm good with the gimmicky ones for, like, bad teams.
Right.
For, like, teams that are just eligible. But
to make the Orange Bowl, you got to go to the playoff.
No, I understand that. And that's a sick bar, dude.
Give me a Gator Bowl. I mean,
and the Rose Bowl has a parade. It's about football and Pop-Tarts.
It's just, I'm jealous. Other teams get to go to a normal, like, holiday bowl. Give me that. You know, their whole thing is like, are they still Culligan? Give me that.
What about the Wasabi Fenway Bowl?
That one seems fine.
Yeah.
2 college basketball programs playing in a baseball stadium. That's what I like.
North Carolina, UConn.
You can't spell Jameis Winston without the INTs. Yankees forcing Devin Williams to shave his beard.
There's not a T in Jameis.
What do you mean?
There's not a...
You can't spell Jameis Winston without the INTs.
Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm
there's
sorry.
There's no T in Winston.
My bad. I
mean,
thought it was
dare
my
you?
fault.
Are these your observations or mine?
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
So sorry.
That's okay. Yankees forcing Devin Williams to shave his head. Hey, Yankees, why don't you worry about winning a World Series and not about facial hair? Taylor. The Jets were 0-5 against Mac Jones. You know what that means, right, Dan?
Had their number?
It means they were due.
Oh.
I hate them. Jets, awful win. Also, I want Aaron to come back. I hate them. The Jets lose must-win games and win must-lose games. I hate them. And Devontae, I'd like him to come back as well. I hate them. I feel fancy every time I say the name Zach Charbonneau.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show.
Did you say it right?
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet. That's right.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Or Charbonneau. I was thinking of Guy Carbonneau. That's who I was thinking of.
How would you like me to phrase
Charbonnet.
this on the poll at Le Batard Show? Do you feel fancy when you say the name
Charbonnet. Top 5 names in sports that when I say them, they make me feel fancy. OLI, David Benoit. A lot of people think it's Benoit. It's not. It's
not.
Benoit.
Yeah.
David Benoit would be weird.
Yeah. Well, not weird, but just not as fancy.
Right. Number 5, Guy Carbonneau. Number 4, Jesper Parnevik. Fancy schmancy. Number 3, Zach Charbonnet. Number 2, Bryson DeChambeau. And number 1, Rodrigue Boubois. No idea if I said any of those correctly. I feel fancy, though. Rodrigue? I think it is. Boubois. Baker Mayfield. Goods. Geno Smith, the rare quarterback that is more likely to throw an interception in the red zone than a touchdown. Dan, last week, I said you couldn't do better than Tommy DeVito for tanking. I was wrong because the Giants put in Tim Boyle. The T in Tim Boyle stands for tanking. As long as Mike Evans is playing football, he'll be open. He's so good. First ballot Hall of Famer. Brandon Aubrey attempting a 70-yard field goal. Ambitious. Sam Howell can sling it. Sometimes to the other team, but sling it nonetheless. You agree?
Yeah, and he gets sacked a lot, and yeah.
I left out Taylor. Death, taxes, and Louis Riddick popping up as a GM candidate every year. The Jets now. Louis Riddick. He's never going to get one.
Really? Why are you doing that?
I mean, he's been up for 5.
Okay, and?
He doesn't get them.
I mean, but you really, okay.
He's up for a job, and the next season what I do is I see him standing next to Steve Levy calling a game. I mean, that's what I do. I would like him to get one. He's always the bridesmaid.
Oh, no.
He is. It's not fair to Louis Riddick.
It's often with Schusen, who you said is your dear friend.
I love Bob. You guys still have that chat going on?
Oh, yeah, still on fire after last night.
Klay Thompson. Revenge game. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Dangerous name to say. I was nervous just approaching it.
Because of the X in Jackson.
Of course.
We're going to
Kyle Tucker traded to the Cubs. Dan, the stove is heating up. Taylor. Congratulations to the Jets for getting their first ever victory against Mac Jones. I hate them. Mac Jones has a 19-30 record for his career. He's 5-1 against the Jets, 14-29 against everyone else. I hate them. If Mac Jones only played against the Jets, he'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Indianapolis Colts, the rare trick play that tricked no one. Dan, you know what Dan Campbell gets to do? Hit the reset button. When Dan Campbell is humbling his team, he's got you right where he wants you. Mike Lombardi strolling into a kid's house and saying, hey, you ever heard of Brady? Collision course. He's going to do that, right? That's his recruiting pitch. A new report on the Joe Burrow home break-in. Apparently, the robbers tried to enter via the Super Bowl window, but it was closing too quickly. I hope the Jets told Belichick no via napkin. Lions, Bills, Steelers, Eagles, first half, split screen, football heaven. Dan, if you decide to get a blizzard from Dairy Queen, what you've decided is that you are okay spending the next 12 hours in hell. Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
You're basically saying of the blizzard, one of the great delights in dessert anywhere in the history of sugar.
Yeah.
You're saying that the lactose situation on that, if you have that at night, it's not going to be a resting situation. You're going to get the gurgling stomach for the rest of the evening. That's what you're alleging.
Rest of the evening, it goes into the next day, perhaps an entire day, but you know what you're getting when you get. I mean, it's delicious going in.
But is that true for everybody, or do you maybe you have a specific lactose intolerance here? Like, I don't think that's true for everybody, is it?
I'm just saying I eat a blizzard and I go to E6 on Jess's toilet chart. I mean,
That's so gross.
Kind of feel like the map would be all over the place then, no? It'd be like A1.
It could go anywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm actually crying.
Yeah.
All right.
Y9.
Why is there a cat in this picture?
What do you think that cat thought he was doing?
Why are you taking a picture of your toilet and your cat is looking at you like, why are you doing
Yeah,
this?
that cat out of the way if Stugotz has a blizzard. I'll tell you that right.
D4. Remnants?
There were two things in Stugotz's weekend observations that I thought were worth revisiting. One was that play in Colts Broncos, because everybody is so safe with the football now that when something like that happens in professional football, you have to understand what these people are doing, right? Like they're super precise military complexes trying to march down the field carefully protecting the football. The Packers have a meeting about the football every week. Every Thursday, they get together, the Packers get together, and like, who turned the football over? It's a meeting about just the football.
Makes sense.
They bring the football, they talk about the football, you can't, and then you watch, oh, look, the Colts season, they're in the mix, they're right there, Broncos, I don't believe in them, but oh, where's this game going to turn? Jonathan Taylor's going to just flip the ball at the goal line, and also, oh, shit, right after that, look what happened. The Colts are playing flea flicker ball, and the perfect play goes in the other direction. Like the dream,
They telegraphed
the
it.
dream for any kid playing football in the history of defensive football since the beginning of time happens. It just lays out for Benito's, and he runs 60 yards with the football. But the other conversation that I wanted to have, where are we on the goods and Baker Mayfield? Because this has been an argument for 10 years between Mike Ryan and Stan Van Gundy. It's been one of the great arguments around here that we've ever had.
I think Mike wins.
Well, but Baker Mayfield's going to throw you occasional interceptions, but we cannot dispute that Baker Mayfield is very good at quarterback, correct? Like
exceptional at quarterback.
I don't know if it's exceptional.
No, it is.
But it's good enough for goods? Good enough for goods?
He's got the goods.
He's got the goods,
proven
yes.
worthy of that contract. He's a good player. Is he, ever going to be confused with the best in the sport? No, but can you win with him? Absolutely. I hope they do, because it'd be a really great story for him. This guy was playing defensive end on scout team for the Carolina Panthers.
Crazy.
And in Baker versus the Browns, like unequivocally, he won that one.
No doubt. No doubt. This guy's big sin was to play through an injury, and maybe could have been a little bit more professional about his time over there, but they shoved him out the door and replaced him with Deshaun Watson. And for a team that was struggling for 20-plus years to find a quarterback, for them to have one who was runner-up in the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year, set all sorts of passing records as a rookie, won a wild card game at Pittsburgh, made Ben Roethlisberger all sad. Like that's the stuff that you were dying for as a Browns fan, and you couldn't wait to push him out the door.
Dan, he's been so good. 3,600 yards, completion percentage is 70%. Two quarterbacks have a higher completion percentage.
Can I?
Goff and Tua.
All right, so if I may just for a moment, because I know this stuff happens super fast in that sport, just real quick, grabbing, great college player, putting him in the pros, and then putting him through the furnace of, we're going to slice this up real quick. You better be value at quarterback or you're going to break up our defense. So you got about 3 years to figure this out, and these rookies better figure it out faster. And Bryce Young, you're getting the bench fast. Anthony Richardson, you got about 5 seconds over here. Let's hurry it up. Baker goes into the furnace of all of that and was this far from having his career basically be over before he resuscitated it on Monday night, because McVay at the end of his season is saying, all right, we'll try this for a minute or two.
Hours after he flew into town.
Yeah.
And now he's going to get, now we're looking at it and wait a minute, that's better than Sam Darnold money. And that's a sentence I just said. That's a sentence I just said.
That lands so harshly to Carolina Panthers fans as both of them excel.
But can we now step back for a minute and just say, hey, it might take a minute to be the guy who can go 20 for 30, and there might be some blemishes. Baker's going to play in a way. You might get 3 turnovers in a playoff game, and you can't be too surprised.
Oh, we need to slow down what we're doing with quarterbacks. Dan, when we were growing up, you would have guys sit behind the starter for 3 or 4 years. Geno Smith is a great example.
No, what I'm saying is
he left the Jets a decade ago.
I would just ask you to step back from all of it, no matter how much we make the finances of it, the important part of the early part of the career, and just know what you're throwing all these people into the maw of, because it's gotten faster and crueler about how it disposes people in that backfield when you can replace the running back salary with Josh Allen because he runs and throws, when you can be what the Ravens are because you figured out the finances of your backfield.
I've asked people in the know, independent of the injury, which is, I think, a huge part of this, which made him play worse, which if he's not playing worse, then you don't open the door to him leaving. But by all accounts, it seemed as though Baker's time at Cleveland was at an end. Like there were divisions in the locker room. He had worn out his welcome. He was at a different point in his career. But you could make a quick evaluation on Baker Mayfield. In retrospect, he was really good as a rookie. He wasn't as good when he had Freddie Kitchens, one of the worst head coaches of all time, as his head coach in that second year. Really good his third year, wins a playoff game, and then his fourth year, he battles through multiple bad injuries and tries to tough it out, which affects his performance. You could look at the first 4 years of his career and say, I can explain why he's bad, and I'm pretty confident this guy is good. That's what I kept saying as it was happening. I did not want Deshaun Watson. I wanted to keep Baker. I was Team Baker all the way. I didn't want to replace him, while other people were saying this team is just a quarterback away. No, they're just a healthy Baker Mayfield away.
That's interesting. You saw enough in the first 4 years where you're like, there's something there. If we just stick with this guy,
It's
there
obvious.
is something there.
I had a quarterback that we drafted #1 win in Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Mike, you're right, because you can make the argument his third season was his best season, even better than this
Let's
season.
see if we can get Stan Van Gundy on the line to concede. This would be a holiday treat. Two people who never admit they're wrong. Stan Van Gundy and Mike Ryan having to go back and revisit, did or does Baker have the goods, yes or no? Because it's been an age-old argument around here. I'd like to settle some of these one day.
My guess is knowing Stan the way I do, knowing the type of player that he likes, he's going to concede this to Mike because he likes Baker.
All right,
Mayfield.
let's see if we can get Stan Van Gundy on the line. But let's go back out to Flanagan's here for the final time today, and I will ask the audience. We're trying to do an old-time radio remote type of thing where we send somebody out locally and you bring them toys. Tony is at Flanagan's today. In the next couple of days, we're going to be at Vivo at Dolphin Mall. Before we go out to Amin, who is stealing the company's money in Vegas, let's go out here to Tony at Flanagan's, the legendary Flanagan's.
There are actual toys behind him.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, whenever we ask our audience for anything, they always do this, and we didn't give them much notice. So now we're giving you notice on the next couple of days, and Roy will be joyless somewhere in the Everglades in the coming days. But Tony, what is going on there? Give us a last report. I'm mortified to tell you that the group has learned that there were some insecurities involved in Rose and how well she did during your segment.
Thanks, Dan, for coming out. We're going to be here until about noon, so a couple more minutes here just hanging out at 2721 Bird Avenue, the Flanagans here in Coconut Grove, as you can see. Toys have been dropped off. We got a beautiful Woody. We've got some trucks. We've got some lip balms over here. We got a football for football guys. Excuse me. We've got a Nerf gun. We've got Amazing Spider-Man Uno. People have come through and brought some amazing gifts. I've had to transition from Santa with the mustache to a more Dagestani Santa with the no mustache look because of the mustache was starting to get twirled and I couldn't speak without getting hair in my mouth.
Very amateur Santa move, Cuban Santa. We are asking again for new and unwrapped toys for the charity Branches, branchesfl.org if you're outside of Miami. Tony, what has been the peril? I'm sure you've met. Anytime we ask listeners for help, they do moving things. We're asking for building toys, Legos, jewelry, craft kits, educational toys, action figures, play food, tea sets, board games, Nerf toys, remote control cars. It's a really nice thing to think of this time of year. Just basically one kid who might not have somebody think that a lonely kid might be getting something that somebody's thinking about them. So, Tony, what are you finding there? Cash is not good, Tony. No, the people, we cannot give to him. No, Tony. No.
Dan, I will update you on this, Dan. We've had people bring a lot of stuff. As you can see, we're very happy with that. One thing to report is that it did start raining. And the sun is out now, so it's making it very steamy. So that's one thing to report that's going to be tough for Cuban Santa to keep on his shirt and his beard, because you know how it is when it gets steamy on the
Are you just trying to take your
Dan.
shirt off?
Is this what's happening right now? You're going to punctuate.
No, I
want
to take the beard off.
Take it off, Tony.
No,
you
no,
should
no,
be
I want to take
comfortable.
the beard
No,
off.
no, come on,
On a
Stugotz,
shirt.
this is uncomfortable. You keep doing this. This is
Pants.
not okay. But this,
I'm just trying to help, Tony.
You don't want to be sweaty, Dan.
I'm wearing shorts.
Okay, so is Rose still there?
Yeah, Rose is here.
All right, can I get Rose real quick? Can I get Rose to just get in
Yes.
front here? And I just want to ask her one more time because
Of course.
I want to see if I can tickle Lucy here because
Okay, hold on.
nothing makes Lucy more. Lucy, this is the funniest person in the world to you.
You're the one that keeps pushing this Rose thing, and you keep saying Lucy. I think you're the biggest Rose guy here.
Yeah, yep.
Say the name, please. Try to say the name again.
Luigi Migini.
Does Tony want to say it now too? Or?
Say Luigi Migini.
Luigi Manganioni.
Nailed it.
It's close.
Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
Rose.
Luigi Maglione. What?
Rose, what did Mike Ryan get wrong in his recap of Miss Congeniality 2?
Oh, there is no beauty pageant. And Sandra Bullock comes back, and she's in the FBI. And she's the face because now she's famous. And then they kidnap her best friend.
What?
By accident because she was not to be the one to be kidnapped. So she goes to Vegas to...
Vegas.
to rescue her.
What's in Vegas?
Yeah, Vegas.
What's in
why she
Vegas?
Uses the.
What's in Vegas?
She was dressed like a showgirl, right? Not like a pageant. I think that's the mistake we made.
Yeah.
But what's going? Is there a show in Vegas? Is there a show in Vegas that she goes to?
Yeah, there's a show that she dresses up, and then
she dresses up at a show in
Cooper.
Vegas.
Yeah, because she had a big thing here.
Kind of
She had to
feels
put her
a little
thing
formulaic, if
out
you
of
ask
the
me,
car.
Rose.
Also feels like Vegas.
It feels like a pageant.
Was
too.
she at the Emirates Cup?
But that's a pageant.
I mean, it's a competition. It's a show. It's in Vegas. It feels a lot like a pageant.
No, because she was there because she needed to have information from fake Dolly.
Who is fake Dolly?
Who is fake Dolly?
You tell me.
You just said it.
Oh.
You just said it, yeah.
Yes.
Salvador Dali, Dolly Parton.
Oh, Dolly Parton. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, that's. You can see how I'm confused.
Rose, what is the song you like to sing from Wicked?
Either Defying Gravity or Popular.
All right. Let's hear
Sing
it.
Popular.
Yeah.
Popular. You're gonna be popular.
All right.
What?
She's got a
We
beautiful
faded her
voice.
down, but we listened to Jeremy all day?
Why did we fade that down?
What is this? This is a crime against humanity.
Commercial music. I mean, we're getting in trouble.
Oh, please. They're not watching
You
us on
just
YouTube.
ruined the moment.
I've heard her sing it
They
like
can't sue us.
500
It's a
times.
toy drive.
I'm gonna back up Chris's judgment here. Do you want to go do it again?